Welcome to Kilgallon's Pub, the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallon, like to sit back, have some drinks with people, and recreate that bar conversation we all know and love. You can follow the podcast on Twitter. That's at Kilgallon's Pub. Also on Instagram, at Kilgallon's Pub. Follow me on all the platforms, simply at Joe Kilgallon. As always, like to thank everyone who follows me. You guys are the shit, especially my YouTube subscribers. You guys are awesome. Sorry there was no video last week. We had a glitch, and we filmed a bunch of shit, though, James and I.
Yeah, we got some stuff for you.
James is laughing because the glitch is us just being lazy, maybe. I don't know what it was. Well, I posted the one video and the sound quality sucked, and some, you know, when people around the world are like, the sound sucks, dude, you're like, all right, fine, I'll fix it. So that's happened there. But thanks for everyone listening to the past podcasts. Had some fun ones, so go check those out. Very fun podcast in store today. I want to thank everyone also, though. I always try to get the thank yous out of the way, Erica. I want to thank everyone who came and saw me at the St. Louis Funny Bone this past weekend. 5 great shows. Every show was awesome, but there was always some weird fucking thing that happened, and I'll get to that throughout. Thank you, St. Louis, but there was always like a dude who hates Mexicans, woman who threw a tampon at me. I got a tampon thrown at me, so we'll talk about all that stuff. But my guest today is making her return. You were a favorite, by the way. Everyone loved the episode you were on.
Aww.
The very funny, the very talented Erica Nicole Clark.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good.
Now, Erica's rocking her Queen of Mary.
Shut the fuck up. This is just a sweatshirt. It's just a sweatshirt. It's just,
I feel like that's your favorite school.
Right.
How's their football team?
I don't know. I doubt they have a soccer team.
Queen
They
of Mary,
definitely
University of London. No, I want to start off with this. I want to get right into it because last time I
Okay.
talked to you, maybe a couple times ago, I remember talking outside the Laugh Factory with you, just shooting the shit.
Mm-hmm.
We came across an interesting thing that blew my mind because of all the layers this story had.
Okay.
It
Yes.
went-
Yeah.
The story spanned from like 1983, 82 when this shit originally went down.
to like 2002, right?
Yeah, it was like
Right.
an amazing story. And it's basically about how when your dad started, everyone who listened to the past episode knows that Erica's father is Mr. T, a very famous actor, American icon, really. And he, when he started his career, his very first thing was Rocky III, correct? Or no?
Technically, yeah.
Technically.
He had done like an independent movie, but they did not release it until Rocky III came. Like it was kind of like we shot this movie. It was called Penitentiary 2.
Ooh.
Yes.
Who was in Penitentiary 1?
This guy, you do not know him. If I said this, you'd be like, oh, his name was like Leon Isaac Hayes.
I was hoping it would be like, it was Carl Weathers. He keeps following Carl Weathers in movies.
So, like, my dad did that movie. That's, like, his first thing, but that, like, did not come out anywhere. But then when Rocky III came out, they were like, oh, we got to put this movie out because Mr. T was in it. But,
Yeah,
like,
you got to ride the wave.
But so his first major thing is Rocky III, yes.
Yes, and you were telling me about how, so Mr. T, your father, got his,
Yes.
is it weird hearing him like, you're like,
You
Dad,
can say
it's Dad.
it, right.
So your dad
Uh-huh.
got his start, he was a bouncer at a bar, or clubs in like downtown Chicago, right?
Yes, called the Dingbats.
The Dingbats, which is like, that's a weird name for a club.
I know, for like an all-black club, like the Dingbats. But
I always thought Dingbat was something you called an old lady.
Right.
I
do you know where the Dingbat was?
No.
It's where comedians you should know.
Oh, Timothy O'Toole.
Yeah.
That's
It's there.
right.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I know that Bernie Mac used to, that same space where Timothy O'Toole's is. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was the Dingbats then, but
Yeah.
like in the late 80s, whatever
it was
that
probably something else after
probably
that.
something else by
Isn't
then.
that crazy,
Bernie
though?
Mac ran shows there.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, a lot of great comedy has been through there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's nuts. And you were telling me that the dudes who were like his bosses, they owned
Yes,
the club.
They owned the club. So there was 3 owners. Calvin Hollins, John Batoy, and this guy named Dwayne Kyles. But Dwayne was like a secret, private, whatever owner.
Silent partner or whatever.
Silent partner. So it was John and Calvin, and they were the owners, and my dad was the bouncer. But they were really good friends with my dad. They would like, my dad lived right across the street at McClure Court, and they would like help my dad out, pay his bills. And they came up with a whole idea of like Mr. T, like making him like much, my dad's not like a pussy, but he's kind of shy and he's kind of quiet. No, not shy. I'll take shy away. He's quiet. So yeah, they came up with the whole persona of like being like tough and like the gold chains and like
And the Mohawk, too.
and the Mohawk. Yes.
So you were telling me, were basically
Yes.
his managers when he started.
Yes. So like when my dad got Rocky III, like they're the people who like kind of got the casting directors to come and take a look at him. They paid for him to go out to Philadelphia. They did a lot of shit for him. So
Now,
so
did
they-
your dad have I don't mean to cut you off. Did your dad have a boxing background?
No.
Okay,
No,
I never
no,
knew
no.
if you did or not.
No, yeah. So He had a wrestling
Neither did
background.
Sylvester Stallone, though, by the way. Okay? There's way too many punches thrown with no guard up. How many punches are thrown in the Rocky movies where it's just like this, leaving your fucking chin out?
Yeah, everyone lands, though, too. Like, no one...
There's no misses.
Like, yeah, there's no misses. Just
it's like no defensive.
100%, yeah.
Floyd Mayweather Sr. would have been like, I'm turning this off.
Right.
He probably never watched any of them all the way through.
So after that, my dad got paid, my dad got paid $30,000 for that movie.
Which is good for your first role in that time.
Yeah.
1982 or 81 or something?
Oh, it was actually 79.
Oh, 79, they filmed it, yes, that's
and
right.
So it was good for a first movie, but not, according to him, it's not good for a Rocky movie. But whatever.
Because by Rocky 3, the franchise was like set. This is big.
But whatever, So those guys felt as though they acted as his manager, and they came up with the image, and they wanted 10%, which is $3,000, right?
Yeah.
That sounds simple enough.
These are your friends. Write them a check, right? Simple enough.
Yeah. No. It would all be so simple if he would have just gave him a check for $3,000 and just called it a day. But my dad did not. But you also have to think he did not know that the A-Team was like coming around the corner, which it came like the movie came out like in '82, so like 3 years later. And they wanted their money. He wouldn't give them to them. And then the A-Team, he got cast in the A-Team. And so this 3,000 just keeps like inching up, they just want 10% of what he earned. And like, so he signs his deal with A-Team. They take him to court. My dad had like all these continuances, like I can't.
Just kept pushing it down the road.
Kept pushing it. And the amount keeps going up to 97, I want to say. Yeah, like 1997. And they want $12.5 million.
Wow. So from 3,000 in the early 80s to 12.5.
Yes. So I hate, to put my dad's business out there. But my dad figured, okay, I'm going to put everything in my mom's name. And then I'm just going to say I'm bankrupt.
Real quick, though, your dad's not going to hear this and then hate me. Because I don't want Mr. T as an
I'm
enemy.
only saying what can easily be Googled.
Because I had a Mr. T doll. I don't know if I've ever told you that. I did. And I don't want later to be like, hey, that guy you talked to, fuck him.
This could easily be Googled. This is like,
okay, cool.
This was on the
it's
cover.
Wikipedia.
Yes, it was on the cover of the Sun Times. So my dad put everything in my mom's name and was just like, okay, I have nothing.
I'm broke. It's all her.
I'm broke,
okay.
yeah. And but Illinois recognizes common law marriage, and
because your parents never got married.
Never got married, but they did live together in sin for quite a long time. So,
and you have siblings or no?
I have an older sister, Lisa. So they sued my mother. Now they had passed some statute of limitation for some part of their suit, so they sued my mom for 5.4, and they won. Yeah.
Your mom must have been crushed, right?
Yeah, because it's like my mom was very upset because she had told him to pay him. Like
she probably told him to pay him back when it was 3,000.
Yeah, like just pay him, overpay him, because he did a lot of shit for you. Just give him 10,000. Like no. So anyway, so after all the court shit and all the, my mother had to sell the house and all that shit. After all that gets done, February 21st happens, and these
what year is this now? February 21st of?
I think it's
I think it was 2002 or 2000.
Yeah,
I remember
it's
early 2000s.
Yeah, because they finally got their money. I want to say maybe 2 months before that for my mom.
So they finally get paid.
Yeah, and they had owned the Dingbats, and then the Dingbats became a place called the Click, and then the Click became E2, and then so 21 people, they put chains on the door to stop people from trying to get in their club for free. And so then there was a fight, and 21 people got trampled and died. And then they got sued for $21 million and lost. And then they went to jail. Yeah. So it was like
karma.
It's a transfer of fucking money.
Well, I'm not even sure it's that much karma because they probably did deserve the $3,000 initially.
Right, I know. Like that's what it's.
But your
weird.
mom didn't deserve to get fucked over that way.
That's what my mom was mad about. But it was just like,
and she was friends with them too.
Yeah, she was friends. Yeah. The main guy who ended up going to jail, his name is Calvin Hollins. Like him and my mom had the same birthday, like same day, same year. So they would have birthday parties together. But yeah. So if you ever see my dad, he has a tattoo on his arm that says TCB. And like now, if you ask him like today, 2019, it stands for taking care of business. Like no, it does not. It stands for T-Row, Calvin, and Batoy. But he's not gonna say. They all have the same.
Say that now.
fuck them, man. He hates them now.
Well, for those of you not aware, listening around the country, the E2, when that happened, that was a major story. It was not only a huge story in the city of Chicago, but I remember that making national headlines because shortly after that, there was a club in Rhode Island, I think.
With like 100 people died,
yeah,
right?
There was a
like
fire and the building code was all screwed up, and the people getting trampled to death was a huge story. So when you told me this, it blew my mind every turn of the story because I was like, oh, shit. He went, I lost my headphones real quick, James. I just want to make sure it's still recording.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we're good. All right, I just can't hear myself. That's fine. But the story had so many different turns.
Right? Yeah, it's fucked up.
It went from like $3,000, easy, pay that, to like now it's $12 million. now it's on your mom. He's like out of the equation.
Yeah, like he
had to sell the house. That must have been heartache.
And my dad, my parents had split up at that point. So my dad was kind of like, just stall him out, like keep going to court, like it's not gonna get.
Maybe he knew they'd eventually fuck up and the whole money would go away.
Right. My dad thought like they wouldn't win, but they just kept going to court. Like, so my mom was just kind of like.
Were there business managers and lawyers just being like, pay these people off?
To my dad? Yeah.
Yeah, I bet everyone was.
But a lot of people. Yeah, just pay them. But my dad he thought that they were trying to take advantage of him.
I get that. You get suspected people. You get a little bit of success, and all of a sudden people got their hands in their pocket.
Right.
Like, hey, I did that to you. Remember that?
Right,
I bought you that chain. Well, the chain cost $3, and you're asking for $3,000.
Right, yeah.
I could kind of understand where that's coming from. I just feel bad for your mom in that whole situation. But was there any part of her when that, obviously, she doesn't want 21 people trampled to death.
When they died.
But when she read they were losing $21 million after taking 12 from her.
No, it wasn't the money. It was him going to jail. Then she thought that was really funny. Because the dude Calvin used to be a Cook County sheriff. So it's just like, oh, man. And you, like, I don't know. I don't think did I tell you this part of the story?
I don't think so.
So the guy Calvin, he was a Cook County sheriff. And he murdered someone at the Dingbats, like on New Year's Eve. Year. Yeah, so like a guy got in a fight and he pulled out a gun and he shot him in the back and he killed him or whatever. Like,
but did he get arrested for that or was it self-defense?
It was self-defense or whatever, but like he kind of had like a bad rap. You know what I mean? Like kind of. So my mom thought it was funny that, like cops do not like to go to jail.
Especially when they find out you're a cop.
Right? Yeah, or that you used to be a sheriff. Like, yeah, so it was just like.
I just by chance lately have been watching shows that take place in prison. Like I used to love Orange is the New Black, then I got off of it, but I've had been on the road a lot lately, and you're bored in your hotel room. I don't know if you're like me. When I'm on the road in a hotel room, I will just be in the hotel room all day.
Yeah, I don't look at shit.
I don't care.
I don't walk around. I watch Hoarders and get mad.
Really?
Like real fucking mad. I was getting real like this lady had like Tylenol from like 1992 or something, and she wouldn't throw it away. Like
expires, I believe.
Yeah. It was way expired.
You know when I found out toothpaste expires?
Does it?
I found that out because I had a thing of toothpaste and it ran out, and then I forgot to get more, but I found it in my bag because I have like the bag I always travel with. Oh, I got another thing. Sweet, now it saves me a trip. I put it on the brush, went to brush, and it was like, bleh, and I spit it out, and I looked, and it expired in like January of 2018. I didn't know toothpaste expired.
What did it taste like?
Bad. It just tasted like
I can't even imagine expired.
Like a mint that smelled like vinegar or something. It was weird. It was like a weird taste.
No, somebody did that shit to you, Joe.
Like, but it said on the bottle.
Your wife did something to that.
Why would she do that? Maybe because I have bad breath. I'm less likely to cheat on the road. Smart.
Right. See?
Smart woman.
So he won't have any toothpaste.
There you go.
Try to fuck another bitch.
Yeah.
With this dirty ass breath.
Doesn't matter how funny you are if you got a gross mouth. Nobody's shacking up to
stupid.
that.
Why? She's doing little shit in the house. I don't think your wife.
No, she didn't do that. Come on. It was just a fucking lazy ass move, and I didn't buy new toothpaste for a long time. That was on me. But yeah, Hoarders. So Hoarders is not what I've not gotten that into. I used to watch the one where it was like a pawn shop.
Yeah.
And I always felt so bad for those people.
I do too. Like, because I feel like they're bullshitting them.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh,
like they were like, I'll give you 50.
Here's a bat that Babe Bruce swung. $5. What? Come on, man. My grandfather gave me this. I need this for my car payment.
Right.
25.
I know. I always feel fucked up.
And they all say yes. Like that. I want to see the episodes that are the outtakes where it's someone trying to sell like a Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle bat, and they go $10. Oh yeah, well fuck your store, and they start bashing the shit. That had to happen once.
Did you see that dude in there that they couldn't afford what it was worth? The dude had every Jordan that's ever come out, even special edition ones. He had like ones with the Simpsons characters on it, like everything. And they were like, "How much do you want for it?" And he's like, "1.2 million." And like, so they got like a shoe expert dude, and he's like, yeah, that's how
what
much
it's
it's worth. So they're like, we'll give you. First they offered him $600,000. He's like, no way.
It's half.
They like kept going up. They went up to like $800,000. He was like, no, that's too much of a.
Well, why? What year was this? I wonder that episode.
I don't know.
2014.
Was
Wow.
it? Did you just Google it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's a good producer right there.
Yeah, look
He's
at you,
quick.
James.
But even in 2014, eBay existed. Why don't you just sell them off on
He
that?
wanted to be on TV.
In
Yeah,
what
he
way?
did. That's exactly why, and that's why they brought him. Because why would you go to? Because that's like in
A
Reno,
pawn
right, or
shop.
Vegas?
Yeah.
A pawn shop in Vegas.
pawn shop.
Unless I guess you live down the street, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
It's a weird situation with stuff like that. Yeah, I was watching Orange Is the New Black.
Oh wait.
Again, I
oh,
was catching up on prison stuff.
you just made me. How
Were
much
you into
would
that
you
show?
spend? Who's your favorite athlete? Larry Bird. I don't know. I know it's someone
racist,
white.
actually.
I know it's someone
No,
white.
it's not. Michael
I thought it was
Jordan's my favorite.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki.
I seriously thought it was somebody. Right. I'm not even bullshitting with you. I thought it was.
Dirk. I mean, Dirk's a good ball player, but he's not even my top
Swear.
50 favorite
I
players.
swear
Why
your
would you
favorite player
No.
was white? I
I'll give
swear
you my-
we've had
you wanna
this
hear my favorite
conversation. Maybe it was Maddie Ryan. Like,
Maybe Maddie, someone else.
I know
Some
the
other generic white person. I mean, come on.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's my favorite quarterback.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
that's true. But no, Larry Bird's a great basketball player. He's not my favorite, though. Michael Jordan's by far my favorite.
How much if like money
I have a joke about how much I like Michael Jordan.
if money was not like no object, not like if you're a billionaire, but how much would you pay for some Jordans?
If money were no.
Not like
No,
if you were
because-
like a billionaire, but like
I wish I would have kept some because I had a lot when I played basketball in grade school, like from 5th grade to 8th grade.
mm-hmm.
And I played like all the time. And I would buy, I remember.
You played in Jordans?
Yeah. I would, and I'd keep them in the box. Because I lived around the block from the park I played at.
Okay.
So I played at Porridge Park, and I lived right around the block from there, which I just told the internet where the fuck I lived. I don't live there anymore, everyone.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. And I would carry the box, and then, be in my shitty shoes, and then only wear them for that, and put them right back in the box. They never touched like the outside. And I had like every year from like 95 to 98, I had the whole second three-peat.
Okay.
But then I wore them out, and I don't know what happened to them. They ended up in the trash probably. They smelled. I didn't realize there was a market for that 15 years later.
Right, nobody does.
Yeah,
right.
it's insane. They're like currency. I know people go nuts for them.
Right.
I was at a Goodwill once, and I saw a pair of Jordans,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, oh, well, they're not my size. Because I was going to buy them to like wear them around.
Mm-hmm.
And they were selling them for like $40, which for Goodwill to sell something for $40.
That's like $5,000.
Because first, right? No, I probably was, but Goodwill is Goodwill.
Right.
But you know what I was doing for a stretch? Did I ever tell you this? For a stretch, I was doing this. I got that from that Gary Vaynerchuk guy. James knows this.
Yeah.
And I was actually making some money. I would go on like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, but then I would also go to like Goodwills and look for undervalued stuff and then sell them myself on other things. Sell them on like
Would you
eBay
make
or
money?
Letgo. Yeah, I was making some money. This desk actually, someone was giving this away for free on eBay.
Oh, did
or not on eBay. They're giving away for free on Craigslist.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it, and I go, that looks good. So I went to go pick it up, thinking if there's any scratches, I could buff them out or whatever. What would that cost me? Nothing.
Right.
And then I'd flip it and sell it maybe for like $100 because this is really good and sturdy. And then at the same time, James was starting the studio. Like a few days later, I go, dude, I got a desk. That was free for me. It just cost me
perfect.
gas to get out there. So it's no skin off my back. And I want to be part of the studio and what you're creating here at the Good Old People of Comedy Network.
Thanks.
Like
Aw,
several
that's-
podcasts on this network. You got like, what, 7 or 8 now?
Yeah, who else?
So yeah,
You don't like
definitely check
anybody better than Joe, right?
Oh, Joe's my second favorite.
out. Yeah,
Who's your
definitely
first
not
favorite?
It's got to be Bobby and
Me.
Todd.
Yeah,
Oh,
Hillary
you,
is
yeah.
probably the best.
Bobby and Todd.
Bobby,
Shout out Hillary.
Yeah, Hillary
New
podcast.
episodes whenever we feel
Todd
like it.
Massey and Bobby Buds.
Oh, okay.
Those two nut jobs have a podcast together.
See our flag right
They have
there?
a podcast called Hillary. It has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton, though.
Hillary.
They just decided to be funny.
Me and Clark had a good time in here once.
Yeah, you did Clark's podcast here,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, classic black dude.
We were.
Oh, yeah, it's called Classic Black Dude, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Clark's a black dude. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. That was, that you guys had your own thing going
Yeah,
on.
we were talking about movies, and then we started
Yeah.
shit talking about comics.
Oh, I like those,
It always
though.
devolves into that.
Yeah.
No, I like when... I wish
Because he was
people were more
asking me
honest.
who I hated, and I
And you were saying it on the podcast?
yeah, because I
Fuck yeah, that's what I love about you.
I really don't like her, and I don't even know why. So I just was like,
You don't want to say the her?
it's your friend's friend. How about that?
Don't.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, whatever. No, I'm okay with people hating whoever they want.
Right.
Like, I could be... Someone could hate my best friend and I won't care. Like,
Right.
it's not, if they have a valid reason. If they're just like, I don't like their shoes, I'm like, that's dumb.
Randomly, who's your best friend in like stand-up and comedy?
Oh, Danny Callis
Okay.
and then Megan Gailey. The two of them are probably my two best friends.
That's cool.
I got a lot of like really good friends though. I realized though I don't really have like a best friend anymore. You get to a certain age and
That's for kids, dude.
it's sad. Like no, I kind of miss having like a go-to. My
Your
buddy Michael
wife is your
Packo had
best
on the
friend.
podcast. He's one of my friends I've known since birth. So we've had moments in our like friendship where we'll see each other all the time. Then we won't see each other for like months. Then when we see each other, we're right back into it. It's not
Do you
like
have-
time has gone by.
do you have, like-
my buddy Duffy's like that too.
Dad friends, like people you just met who like live around the corner from you and shit.
I'm not that type of guy.
You're not that type of.
No,
like,
do you remember there was like that thing on the internet for a while where it's like dads are posting funny videos dancing with their toddlers.
Right? Yeah.
My
That's
friend's like, "Are you gonna do that?" I'm like, "Fucking no."
But
I made
that's what
I
I'm
made a
saying.
post where I just wrote no.
Your wife isn't like, yo, Joe. You know, you just got a 2-year-old too.
I have
like,
friends who have kids that I was
Right.
friends with before they had kids.
Right, but you don't have like men that you just met.
No, I'm not in
because-
a men's group or
Like,
whatever. for
what
that stuff.
is it a man?
I don't
But,
know.
like,
Maybe
your
it's not a bad
neighbors.
thing. Well, I have neighbors who have kids, but
Right.
I knew them before.
Okay.
So like I've never met anyone. I've never been at the playground with my kid.
Right,
And
and
then they're
been
playing
like,
with a kid.
"Hey."
Because that'd be weird to me. Let me explain better. If I'm at the playground and there's another guy with his kid, I don't think that's weird because I'm the same boat.
Right.
And if we have some chit chat, like I used to take my dog to the dog park a lot, and you talk to other people, just like,
Right.
hey, what's up, and casual conversation. But if any of them were like, Friday night, man, what are you doing? I'd be like, well, I'm hanging out with people I've known longer
No,
than
you're not-
you.
you're
Why
not
am
gonna
I?
say yes.
I'm 35 now.
What
I'm not
the
making new
fuck
friends.
is wrong with? I don't
You
understand.
get to an age where you're
man.
not making new friends
That
unless there's
doesn't-
like
you
a
don't
work
have to
tie.
be fucking like he
When
doesn't have
was
to
the
be
last
your
time you made
best
a new
man.
friend?
I'm a woman. I make friends all the time.
Ones you're gonna hang out with though, like socially, or like casual, like I see her
Okay.
at this thing.
This new teacher started working in my school. We talk dirty, like not like talk dirty.
Talk
we have
dirty?
like
What's going
like,
on here?
like dirty jokes at
I
teachers
got ya.
lounge and shit. So I'm just like, yeah, you need to come to my show. She seems like a fun person.
Now Erica's boyfriend's in studio, everybody. So maybe he'll want to hear this too. I'm curious, what are the types of dirty jokes you tell between another teacher during break?
Oh,
Can you give us
yeah,
an example of one
I'm
said
trying
joke?
to think what we were talking about. We were talking about. Oh,
By the way, I'm not over the Larry Bird thing.
I swear. I mean, you
Manny,
you
Clark.
just look like
From-
everything about you
It's a
is
Boston
Larry
Celtic.
Bird.
I'm a Chicago Bulls
From the
fan.
comments, Manny Acosta loved that joke. So
About the
well
Larry
done.
Bird.
Yes.
Manny, I love Manny. What dirty jokes were me and her talking about? We were talking about.
No, by the way,
I can't.
everyone listening needs to realize women are way more dirty than men.
Yeah, we were talking. She was. Oh my god. Okay. What is that girl's name? She's part of Diamond Comedy Hour. She's one of the producers.
Alex Cumin?
No, not
She's like the main
Alex. I know-
producer.
I know
Oh,
Alex.
yeah.
What the fuck? She.
I'm thinking.
I can't think. Elise.
Elise
I wanna say-
Fernandez.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, oh,
Elise.
she's cool.
Elise has a joke about douching with tea tree oil, right? And so
It's
we
douching with what? I'm sorry. I didn't hear the last part.
tea
I heard douching and then you.
tree oil.
Oh, tea tree oil.
yes.
Okay.
And so she has a joke about that. So me and this teacher were like joking about that, and like the teacher was just like, "Oh, you're just like minty fresh. You feel like a Christmas tree," which is really funny because that's exactly what Elise says on stage. So these
Does
are the
Elise say when someone goes down on her, it's like Christmas
yeah,
morning?
yeah.
Oh, that's a good line. If she didn't, you
See,
could use that line.
She says something regarding them, but she
I'll
smells like
skip
a
that.
pine tree. But yeah, we were just talking about shit like that.
I didn't know it came in different scents. Why wouldn't they, though? How dumb am I where I
Or
didn't
like
realize?
pussies or
No, I
tea
know
tree oil.
pussies come in different
Who
scents.
said-
The-
what
like
comes
the,
in
what, like
Christmas?
douches. I didn't know douches came in different. I don't know.
No, you don't.
I don't
There's
know what
no,
it, I don't really know what a
tea
douche
tree.
is. It's a way to clean your vagina. I know that.
It's
But it's like, what, you shoot water up there or something?
yeah, but like all they have
The
at
water
the store. Yeah, but you can open it and pour the water out, and then you can you can put Miller Lite in there if you wanted to.
That'd be a great way to
Right.
attract a certain type of man, huh?
You can put
Just
whatever
firemen going down there.
concoction you want to. Yeah, a little hot sauce.
All
and-
right.
So whatever floats your boat.
That's what Hillary Clinton's going to say when she runs again.
Right,
She's
yeah.
gonna
It's
announce,
I
like,
got hot sauce in my
Put
douchebag.
vagina in my I fucked that up. I was going to say I put vagina in my douchebag. I meant to say, I'm a moron. Anyhow, Jesus. But how much would I pay for a Jordans? I never answered the question.
Yeah, how much?
Well, they were $100 a pop back then, 120.
Oh my god, I'm talking like right
Right
now,
now?
today. If you saw some,
That
and
I
they were
really
like
loved?
1,500.
I couldn't pay $1,500 for it.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm different now than my dad. I got 2 kids. I'm weird with my extra money. I think, what could I buy them? I know that sounds sappy, but it's true.
Oh,
Did I ever tell you I got this free $20 gift card? There's this comedy show those dudes were doing where it's like you play video games at the end of it, and like it's called Ready Player One, right?
I did that. I did that.
New players enter the game.
New player enters the game. Is the
Yeah,
name of that show. Really fun show.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
And we did it with Mario Kart, and I felt bad going into it because I'm like, I'm one of the best Mario Kart players of all time. They have no chance. I lapped people. It was like, it wasn't even fun. I think I like got up and go to the bathroom during the middle of the race. That's how much I was kicking ass. And so I won like a $20 or $25 gift card to this place by Laugh Factory over there in Belmont, and they sell like, you know, music, Blu-ray, all this kind of stuff. And I was gonna buy like a record because I got like, I'm pretty into vinyl these days. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, I've always wanted this Iggy Pop record. This is like really badass. And as I'm holding it, I glance over, and they had a kids Blu-ray section, and I saw Cars 2. And my son has seen Cars 1, but not Cars 3. And I almost bought Cars 2 like on like Amazon, but it was like $20, but they had it for like $9.99.
Oh.
And I'm like, fuck, I can't buy both. And then I walked over to see the rest of the kids' stuff, and they had like these Toy Story shorts. They did like Toy Story, like a Halloween one, like it wasn't in the theaters, and I'm like, I'll buy these 3 instead of the thing I wanted. And then I realized, damn it, that's like growing up. That's like man shit.
That's like chicken soup for the soul. That you should put that in a story and send it to the chicken soup people.
I should cut this clip and post it
because I hate
because
you for that story.
you know what though?
I hate you and I hate that story.
Yeah, because you know me well enough though. I still think there are people who don't know me and they think I'm this fucking lunatic. So I want more of these stories. I need like if I had a PR person, they're like, we gotta get more stories about you being a good dad out there.
Right.
Because everyone just knows about you being a psycho and punching people.
Yeah, I would know you as a psycho beforehand.
But I say I need the yin and the yang. I need to balance it. I
Right.
need people to know, hey, I'm actually a good guy.
Just like a, I don't know. I didn't like you when I first met you.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
You didn't
no,
mention it on the last
not
podcast.
like, I know, not like hate you, but I was just like, oh, he's kind of mean. Like you were kind of like standoffish. Like you weren't very
I didn't
friendly.
mean to be standoffish.
You were not very friendly.
Maybe I was intimidated by you.
No, get
Maybe
the
I
fuck
was
out
like,
of here.
who's
You were
this?
no,
Who's
no,
the new
you're
hot
not.
shot on the scene?
No, you were not friendly. You
Really?
Were not. Ask anybody who met you.
Well, it depends when you met me. I have met bad months where it's
It
like,
was right before. I don't know. I mean, obviously.
really
before
ask
you went to
anyone
LA.
that met me. Anyone else in the chat could tell stories when they first met me.
Yeah,
and
when they
how
first
terrible I
met
was,
Joe.
apparently.
Like, no, you weren't like, fuck you, bitch. You were just like, what's up? Like, oh, okay, well, that was.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a bummer. Well, at least it wasn't like you did these jokes and they were terrible.
No.
All right. Well, that's a bummer. I wish I could turn back time.
No, see, now he's gonna take it personally. No,
I'm
you
not.
just
I'm
weren't
not as
friendly.
personal as Larry Bird, but I get it.
I swear to God,
I
you
know,
told me
I
that
mean,
Larry Bird was like
it's
the
not.
shit.
I'll tell you my favorite athletes in every sport.
Okay.
Michael Jordan in basketball.
Besides Michael Jordan, I hate Michael Jordan.
My second, well, on the shoes, the only other pair of Shaq's, but they were sold at Payless. That was before I could buy like nice shoes. Shaq's shoes were sold at Payless for real. I had Gary Payton's the gloves. You remember the glove shoes that zipped up? Those
Okay.
were awesome.
I don't
those
remember
were like
shoes,
my
but
favorite
I like Gary
non-Jordans
Payton. Okay.
that I wore in like grade school. So I was a big Gary Payton fan. I love Kevin Garnett. I did like Steve Nash. So there's your like token white guy if you're looking for that. I was a Nash guy for a little bit.
Messy hair, always a little wild.
I love LeBron. I'm a big LeBron fan.
Okay.
I'm just a bigger Jordan fan.
Okay.
I used to like KD until he went with the Golden State Warriors, and then every other thing out of his mouth, it's like, dude, just shut up.
Were you a Kobe
He
fan?
doesn't help him. No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I really wasn't, because I think he was just copying Jordan too much. I like him more now that he's not playing, because when they interview him, it's like, dude, this guy's smart as hell.
Right.
Like Kobe's like a basketball genius. He's got this show where he like breaks down plays, and yeah, he's awesome.
What about
Hakeem Olajuwon too. Hakeem Olajuwon's
Okay.
my all-time favorite center. I think he's the most underrated player in NBA history.
Okay.
That dude was
Favorite
incredible.
center. That's interesting.
Yeah, because people just
Favorite-
forget about how
but
good he
yeah.
was because he was quiet.
Yeah.
He would just go out there, dominate, and wasn't like a big interview guy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cool YouTube video. If you guys listening are NBA fans, you just type into YouTube LeBron James Hakeem Olajuwon.
Mm-hmm.
It's Hakeem Olajuwon, like he's like in his 50s now, showing LeBron how to do post moves.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing them like in a way where you're like, damn, he could probably still, like, especially
Right.
because the NBA is not like a big man league anymore.
Right.
So I bet like he could still probably body up some people, give you a few minutes. So I was always like Olajuwon. Well, who's your favorite NBA player? I know you're not a big Jordan fan though, right?
No, I'm not. You know I almost crashed into him, right?
I don't know this story, but damn it, I'm
Yes.
happy to hear it.
Yes.
You almost crashed your car into Michael
I
Jordan.
almost crashed my car into Michael Jordan. Yep. I took my mom's car out.
All right,
with
set
my
the scene.
friend.
What happened?
There's a car wash on Route 41 in like Highland Park where like every like baller, every person like goes and gets their car washed and shit like that, right? So I was with my friend Livy, and we had taken my mom's car out, and I want to say I was 15, but maybe I was like, it was like she was 16, so it was kind of like, okay, like it's fine, you're driving, but I didn't know how to drive that well, right? So we went through the car wash. Now I didn't know
What kind of car, just so I get the visual? Did you mention that?
Did I mention it?
I don't
I'm
know if
trying
you
to
did.
think. It was my
I was opening a
mom's
beer.
Cadillac.
Cadillac.
It was
Okay.
like
Well, it's good to understand which car is
Yes.
hitting what car.
Yeah. So we are. I'm trying to think. What is happening? There was a car with a, old school car phone in the car.
Oh,
right?
cool.
Yes. So my friend Livy's like, oh, we got to call people. Pick up somebody or whatever.
Those were the most expensive calls in the world back then. though.
I know, right? $1 a second.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware because I did not have my driver's license. That the car moves when your foot's not on the brake, right? So like I'm sitting and the car's moving. It's not like moving fast. It's just like inching
moves,
along,
yeah.
right? And then Livy goes, "Watch out!" Right? And I stomp on the brakes and. Like, so I'm going like this. Michael Jordan is turning in front of me, and he's like, watch where the fuck you're going, right? Like, rolls down the window. He's in a Porsche.
You almost
He's got-
T-boned Michael Jordan.
Yes, I
but
almost
going
I was
a
going like,
mile an hour.
right, but
Come on, MJ.
he had to swerve out. Very mean. But I had, like, my mom's car and the big Mr. T plates on it. So he kind of, like, looked for a second.
He was
and
looking
then-
to see if your dad was coming around the corner and
Like, it
popping.
was just always, like, fucked up and weird. But it
Could your
was
dad take
crazy.
Michael Jordan?
I mean, like,
I'd imagine.
in-
How tall is your dad?
5'10".
5'10"? That's a good height.
And Michael Jordan's 6'6".
Yeah, but like, your dad's like way bigger. I feel like if he
Heavier.
gets inside on him,
Yeah.
Michaal's got reach, but Michael's like 6'6".
But
Back
my
then,
dad's not a fighter,
at that
though.
time, like this was before the first retirement, or maybe was it the second three-peat?
Yeah, this
Probably
had to
second
be like,
three-peat.
yeah,
So maybe
yeah.
he was like 215 then, 6'6", 215.
Mm-hmm.
What was your dad? 5'10", 240?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your dad could
238,
get him.
240.
And your dad has a wrestling background.
Yes,
So once he
wrestling
spears
background.
him, takes him to the ground, it's over.
I do have a funny story about my dad beating up somebody, though.
Oh yes,
You're like this. So my
I
mom,
love any fighting story.
my mom told me the story that she went to a Bulls game with my dad and Hulk Hogan and what's that lady's Linda Hogan?
Yeah,
Okay. This is like
I love this story already.
right. This is like late 80s. Like in the prime of the WrestleMania bullshit,
I wonder if
right?
Hulk Hogan's like, I'm not racist. I hung out with Mr. T.
Right.
I just slipped up on
So
that one
my
video.
mom's like, we go to the basketball game, and it's great, it's cool, it's whatever. And she's like, we take a limousine there, right? We lived in Lake Forest, but they took a limousine. So they are leaving United Center, but they're stuck in traffic, like on Madison. And she's like, there's like, people are just walking in front of the cars and stuff like that. And she's like, there's like 4 like drunk white boys, right? Like, ooh, I'm in a limousine. Like, they're doing like the David Spade, like, oh, I've got 80, they're just talking shit. But my dad and my mom's like, my dad and Hulk Hogan are just talking. Like, they're not even really paying attention to the kids, right? But she's like, my dad has the window down partially because he's smoking weed, right?
Oh, wow.
And so she goes, the white boy reaches in and pops my dad in the face, right?
Whoa.
Just hits him. And my dad's like, what the fuck? And like,
How old was this kid?
oh, my mom's like, he's be like 21, 22.
Oh,
like, he's
okay.
wasted out of his ass. And he just reaches again and like pops him. And my dad's like, what the fuck? So him and Hulk Hogan just jump out the limousine. She's like, the other dudes just run. They just take off running. And like, she's like, that dude just got like in a fetal position on the ground, like, please don't. You guys are my heroes. You guys are my heroes.
Why the
Please
fuck
stop.
would you slap your hero then?
He didn't know it was my dad.
Oh,
Like, he just
man.
saw a limousine with tinted windows and was kind of like, oh, I'm a rich jerk. And like, all
And
of a
just
sudden,
reached in
Mr. T
smack.
and Hulk Hogan jump out of a limousine.
That's like nightmare shit.
Right? My mom was like, he was like in a fetal position. And my dad was like, get up, pussy. Get up, pussy. And she's like, Hulk Hogan's like kicking him in the ass. Like, get the
Did
fuck
Hulk Hogan
up.
do the leg drop?
Yeah, no, she's like, Hulk Hogan's kicking him in the ass, like, get the fuck up, pussy. And he's
Get up,
like,
brother.
no. He's like, you guys are my heroes. I'm like, that is like the worst possible thing to ever fucking happen. Like, of 2 random people jumping out. Like,
It'd be funny if they both stopped. Well, we didn't know we were heroes. Well, I mean, all right, get
Oh,
up,
that's-
buddy. It happens.
my mom was like, yeah, he was like crawling down like mad, like crawling, and they're pulling his legs.
Imagine
and
if
shit.
that dude was like stoned, like really. Imagine if he was on mushrooms, and all of a sudden his two
Like,
icons
what the fuck?
that he'd like worshipped.
Yeah.
All of a sudden Hulk Hogan comes out at you and Mr. T.
My
that
mom
would
was
really
like,
blow your
everyone
mind.
is on the street, like, oh my God, is that Mr. T and Hulk Hogan? Like, people thought it was like a joke or like, yeah. My mom was like, yeah, I should think of my dad in the car.
They ever think to themselves, good thing cell phones weren't around back then.
Right, I know
That would have
that.
been filmed. That would have been viral.
Right, like, oh, my dad had to make some apology and shit. Oh, you know, I don't know, but I'm like, that's funny. You know?
That's a crazy story.
Right.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
But so Michael Jordan's not your favorite basketball player because
Not by
he was
far.
a
He's
dick.
an asshole.
No, he
He's a
does. I mean,
Dick.
I think like people who are like the greatest at stuff are almost like they
You
can't
think
be
you
also
have to
nice
be a dick?
people.
Yes,
I think
they
you
can.
have to be a
Do you
dick,
think
but
Tom Brady's a dick?
I don't know. I've heard mixed stories about him. I've heard some people go, "Oh, he's a great guy," and other people are like, "Nah," you know.
What
He's
about like,
standoffish?
Tiger Woods? Do you think he's a dick?
I don't
Like
know.
not like if he's a good husband and shit like that. Like is
He's
he a-
snapped on people though. Tiger Woods has had it like where, like in golf, like he hits the drive and then someone will yell something as he's swinging, and golfers hate that shit. And he's snapped on people.
I
Where he'll be
feel like
fucking boot him. You know.
I feel like I. Okay, did you see that thing I put about like the imps of perverse? Do you know what this is?
No.
It's like the thing. It makes me laugh. So there's this thing called imps of perverse.
How do you spell
It's-
that? IMP.
IMP.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like the little fucked up thing we think about doing, like that we shouldn't.
Oh, I didn't know there was a title for that.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's like when you're kind of like standing on a balcony talking to somebody, and you're like, I should just fucking
Oh.
nudge this
Oh, like
person.
if you see
and
someone
flip
on a
them.
ladder, you want to shake the
Yeah,
ladder.
like-
Yeah. Or when someone opens the door, you want to blow smoke in their face. So I get to James.
Like I feel like at a golf game, I couldn't control myself. Like if it's just like shh, you know.
Oh,
and
because it's so
I would
stiff.
just yeah. I'd
It's
be
one of
like,
those sports where
"Miss it!"
quiet. Yeah, you want
I
to
feel
yell
like
something.
I do that. Yeah, but yeah. So
I love doing that. I call it just doing juvenile shit. I love juvenile stuff. I'll do that. I do that to comedians. If a comedian's like writing on a notepad, I'll walk by him and knock the fucking notepad out of their hand. It always makes me laugh.
Asshole.
I am. I'm like a big dumb kid with stuff like that.
Did you ever used to go up with your notepad?
Barely. When I first started, maybe a little bit.
How do you feel about people who do it?
I think they're doing themselves a disservice.
Mm-hmm.
First off, if you do it for a real show, you're definitely a moron because it's like the audience can see that. I know some people at an open mic, they're like, I'm just trying to work it out
Right.
and teach their own at open mics, whatever gets the joke good for a real audience,
Mm-hmm.
fine. I stopped doing it early on because I noticed I would tell a joke and my brain would be like, this is the next joke. But because the notepad was there, I looked at it. So I was looking at it just because it was there.
Right.
I'm like,
okay.
I don't need to look at it, but I'm looking because it's there. So I'm like, I got to just. So I would look at it like right before, like next comedian
Yeah.
on the stage. I glance, and I shove it in my back pocket because I know there's no way in hell I'm ever going to reach in my back pocket in the middle of
Right.
performing.
Right.
Because I think those comics are doing themselves a disservice because when you're up there, you're supposed to try to be the realest version of you as possible.
Right.
You're supposed to be in the moment and be present.
Right.
And if you have a notepad, you're kind of just like, all right, I said that, now what?
Right.
Instead of
'Cause
just letting it flow.
Right. I've definitely seen comics who are so into that like they miss like shit that happens. Like I saw a comic. I was at Jokes and Notes. Like this was a long time ago, but a comic had a notepad and the waitress fell, like with the drinks, and it was like, psh, and it was just like. So anyway, so I was on the phone with my mom, and it's like, bitch, this lady's like
Someone's
bleeding.
Yeah.
You're just like must tell jokes. Yeah. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I just think especially if you are someone who needs to work on that, put the notepad away.
Right.
You know, just go up there and wing it. And then the idea, I used to use open mics as a way to get more comfortable on stage. I think
Yeah.
that's what people should really use them for, to get more comfortable on stage and more
How
comfortable
about
in
new
different situations.
material?
New material, fine, but a lot of open mics suck for new material. So I feel like the more comfortable you get on stage and you do the material you know is good, people are going to notice more. You'll get real gigs, and then throw the new joke in the middle of a real gig.
See, that's the Hannibal. That's what Hannibal's like. Do the sandwich method, where it's like good joke, new joke, good. Like
you disagree
know,
with Hannibal's approach?
I think it's good in
think it's worked
theory.
out for him pretty
Shut
well.
the fuck up. It's good in theory, but like I always feel like I don't know. It's like a mindset.
We're
like,
going
if
to
I'm-
challenge you. You're going to do it this weekend.
I can't
Do it.
at an open mic. I don't give a fuck.
Sure, yeah, because there's no stakes.
Right, and it's just like you guys are.
So you won't try any new stuff at a show?
I do, but I'll like try a new tag or whatever, but I won't like outright be like, so
But what if it's a new joke about like topics you're doing that already kills? Like you're talking about like, being a teacher or like whatever, and then you're like, oh, I got a new joke about that could slide in between this, knowing if it doesn't do well, the next joke always kills, and I got him right back on my team.
But see, that's what
You just don't want to take that risk?
I get caught up. I'm thinking always like, should I say? And then I'm like, nah.
I don't know. I think you need to. I think you're an awesome comic, but I think you should do it to challenge yourself. I think everyone needs to find something that they feel like this is a weakness. I need to get better at that.
So what's your weakness?
My weakness is opening a set. I'm not good at just launching into material. I have to try to riff a little bit or be a little
That's
bit
normal.
weird. That's normal, but the problem is when I have those audition sets, when like JFL comes around and those other things, they want to see like a tight 5 or 6.
Right.
And I just never feel right just going up there. And you see some comics, they'll walk in there and they'll be like, so I was at the liquor store. And
That's always weird to me,
weird.
though. Yeah.
It feels weird to me because and my favorite comics don't do it when they're touring.
Right.
Like if you see Bill Burr or Chappelle, they don't just go up there right into material.
Right.
They'll comment on what's going on in the room or what's going on in their day, and because that feels more natural.
Right.
Like when you're hanging out with your friends, you don't walk in right in the middle of a story. You kind of like, hey, how are you? All right, yeah. And then you go, oh, get this shit that happened to me. That's how I view it, and I know that when it comes time for those sets, I'm at a disadvantage.
Right.
That's why I hate the 5-minute, 6-minute audition set.
Right.
That Zany's competition. I actually don't even like competitions because they usually condense you.
Right.
That Zany's thing they're doing is actually cool because it's uncensored and they're giving everyone like 10 minutes. Which no one ever gives. Zany's Comedy Club, everyone, I did a couple advertisements for it last week. I'm not doing one for them this week because they haven't paid me for last week yet. They're going to. I have to write a fucking invoice. Brian Warren from Zany's, if you're listening, dude, I don't know how to write an invoice.
What the fuck, Brian? What's up with you,
businessman.
Brian?
And so now I got to get a template for an invoice.
Who's
Off
got
of it.
I'll write it up right now.
Yeah,
Right,
find like a
give-
template for
I
an
got
invoice
one.
if you could.
Just be
You got to put
invo-
my address and Zany's. I'll give you my address off
got
there
you, dog.
because he wants me to do it because I'm
Why
giving him the
why
money.
are you so like all weird about your address? You a stalker?
No, but
You
I
dumb
have
some
people
shit.
around the country listening to this.
I
You
know,
never
but
know. It's
you
the
keep
internet.
being like, I don't live over there
It's the
anymore.
internet. I have 2 children. I don't know.
Oh my
You want to give your address out on the radio right now?
I'll give out an
On the radio, on
address.
the podcast. You'll give out, yeah, you make one out.
Right.
I've made up an address before, like
Did
for
you?
certain situations. I'd be like, I live over this way because I don't want fucking people knowing where I live, like or whoever it was. Just make up something.
Right.
Do you ever give out fake numbers, fake phone numbers?
No.
I thought for a second, William. I thought for a second you gave like a head nod, like that's first time I tried calling her. It was bullshit.
Right,
I
like
thought that's what I
fucking
saw in the corner of my eye, but it wasn't.
No, like no. I'm trying to think. I hate that. I when someone makes me uncomfortable, I don't know what to do. Do you know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm
If someone was
saying.
like, "Give me your number," I'm like,
It's why you're a funny comedian though, because you're honest. I think you'd be like, nah.
I'd be like, I do.
I'm gonna ask your girlfriend a slightly personal question. Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you'd be too honest for that. Not with this guy though. Come on, we know that. But like, I thought you'd be like, "Fuck no! If they can't get it done,
Yeah.
fuck them." I
But
made
no,
fun
like
of them. I thought that's
have,
the answer I was
like,
gonna get.
Yeah, definitely. When you're like younger, you like. I mean, not like younger. I hate the word younger. That sounds
know,
like
I
I was
know.
like 12. But
Yeah,
like,
I heard you.
you know, early 20s, you're like, oh yeah, and then then you just stop faking it, and then you just like, no, nothing happened. Like I don't know, guys, have you ever faked an orgasm? You have, James?
Yeah.
I think I've.
Why did you fake
No,
it?
never faked
To
one.
make her happy.
No, I'm not. I'm saying like what
'Cause
was
you're
not
tired, you just wanted to go to
happening.
bed.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it was just not, like, it was going on too long, and I was like, I'm tired. I'm
Oh,
done.
so you did the oh
Yeah, that was back in the condom days, so you can get away with that
Oh
shit.
right, didn't just run to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Take it off
no, I gotta get this.
Well, you know
off
what? It's
now.
hard to give a. Speaking of fake phone numbers, though, how do you give a fake phone number today? Because doesn't everyone just pull out their phone?
Right,
You
that's
have
what
to-
makes
and
me
then you call
uncomfortable. They're like, I'll just call you, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I've had that where people are like, "Hey, give me your number. I'll text you right now."
Yeah,
And
like,
you can't be like, ah. Oh, you know what's nuts? Someone
But you can't just do it and then be like, okay, I got you. Block. The fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, you can do that instantly. I guess that block
Right.
feature is nice. I got this phone like a month ago, or a couple months ago, so it's still pretty new. And I think I lost some numbers. I don't know how. But someone, I figured out who it was. But they texted me, and like I was scrolling through, I have like a long text history with them, but still no name, and I don't have the number saved. And they texted me, I figured you'd enjoy this. It's about a teacher who got arrested in England for having sex with a student. So I don't know why he thought I would enjoy it. But then he goes, here's the teacher. And the teacher is one of the hottest people I've ever seen in my life. So it's like, why is this 24-year-old banging a 16-year-old? What do you think that is? You think it's something like mentally wrong with these women?
Yeah, because
Look at
like,
this
there's
woman,
no
though.
real appeal at fucking a 16-year-old. Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah, why are you having sex with a 16-year-old? She's 24. She could get any dude she
Oh my
wants.
God.
Do you remember how hard
nudes-
your
her
dick
nudes got-
was when you were a 16-year-old?
Oh, yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, but it's not that much different than
24-year-olds. I know,
My dick
24-year-olds'
was-
dicks are pretty hard too.
By the way, I think my dick's just as hard at 35 as it was at 24.
Sure it is,
I don't know.
Joe.
I don't
Yeah,
really.
okay, bud.
Sure it is, Joe.
I think it is. How do you remember that? How do you remember that? James is just like, nah, dude. I remember at 21 it was like this, and at 32 it was like, eh.
Smoked a lot of weed, Joe.
I feel like no. See, I am a very casual weed smoker.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe I got a better diet than you. I don't know.
Oh,
But yeah,
my
you saw her.
God.
It's like, why are you, James? Look at that.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
I
sure
didn't
will.
Right,
expect
that's
all
what I'm
that.
saying. I know,
Pass
because
it around the room.
That's a lot.
I swear to God, can
Her
I
nudes
tell you?
got
What,
leaked.
can I
So
tell
they're
you
all
what
over,
I
like, the
thought,
British
James?
press.
I swear to God, because the first picture he showed me was her in a dress, right? And then
Yeah.
I swiped
And you weren't
without
ready for it.
asking Joe. No, I thought like, oh shit, this is Joe's wife or something. Like I've gone. I thought I was in his gallery or something.
I
I
hear
was
you,
just
I
like,
hear
oh, I just shouldn't say anything.
That kid better
Maybe I'm
like
just
play
showing off my
football or
wife, too.
something.
She actually, my wife looks, a little, you know. Well,
All right.
no, but like
Oh
the
my
same
God!
brown hair and blue
All I'm
eyes.
saying is,
All right.
I saw a naked picture and I thought I had swiped too far.
But at first, I didn't know who was texting me these, and when
You
I opened
still
it up,
don't
I
know.
just saw. No, I figured out who it was through talking to him. But at first, I just saw. I opened my phone, random number that I didn't say it, and a naked women, and I'm like, who the fuck is this sending me naked pictures of themselves? I'm like, oh no, it's just a perverted guy friend of mine going, look, dude, teacher banged a kid. Here's the
That's
news
so
that got
weird to
leaked.
me.
I don't know.
That's so weird to me.
It was a weird thing to throw out there. But yeah, I guess nowadays it's tough for a woman to be like, I can't give you a fake number because you know immediately. I had a friend I remember we were playing like summer league baseball, like in some like all-star tournament thing. And I drove back with two of my buddies. I know we were just 16 because I didn't have my license yet. So maybe he was 16, I was 15 still. And we were driving, it doesn't matter what street, but there were these girls walking on the street. And they were like, oh, we got to go pull over and talk to them. I'm like, no, we don't. Because I knew even then that was a bad move. But they were like, no, man, yeah, let's go holler at them or whatever. I'm like, all right. So my friend Alberto, who was driving, got out of the car, and we were with this other dude, Daryl, who the last time I saw him had a house arrest monitor on his ankle. I hadn't seen the dude in like forever, and then like 5 years ago I saw him at a fantasy baseball draft. He had a house arrest monitor on him. I'm like, oh, not much change for you. Anyhow, and they got back in the car. I didn't even leave the car. I was like, I like waved out the window hi. It was just so stupid.
Oh, you were like the loser.
I thought it was actually
Joe was like, hi.
actually
like,
turns
you got
out,
a girl for him? He's like,
I don't know if I had a girlfriend at the time because I was 15.
he's like, hi.
Actually, it turns out I was the winner, and you're gonna find out why I was the winner.
Okay, I
They
want to
came
hear.
back and showed
I
me the
wanna-
phone number, 555.
Oh, and shit,
they didn't
sorry.
know.
And they bought it.
They didn't know that 555 was
Right,
the
but the
universal fake television number.
Information number.
Like on TV shows, it was
Yeah,
555. They didn't know, and I
551,
literally said, "I'm like, dude, that's a fake number." He was like,
Oh.
"Get out of here!" And we didn't have cell phones. And then he, like, the next day was like, "Yeah, you're fucking right." I'm surprised he even admitted it to me, 'cause that's gotta be pretty
Don't you
embarrassing.
think it's weird, like how our parents and shit like got together, like with no cell phone, like just had to call, had to pick up at the right time, go out on a date. They had to be there and meet up. Nothing. Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I know, and I was thinking about this the other day. Nate Craig, a really funny comedian, he has a joke about how landlines don't make sense to like younger people now.
Mm-hmm.
Someone have to call you, and you have to be near a wall. You know, I like the whole idea of being like you were
Right.
connected to a wall essentially,
Right.
and then you'd have to hope they were home at that time.
Right. Yeah. And if they're not, they're just well.
I remember like in high school before, because I think by senior year my friends were starting to get cell phones, and that's when it
Yeah.
started to take off. That was like 2003.
Yeah.
But like up until then, we didn't have phones.
Right.
So I remember one time being somewhere with my family, like at dinner. And I'm like, I got to get home by 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, why? I'm like, because that's when I call my friends. If I'm home everyone goes out around 7:30. Like on
Right. Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
If I get home at 8, I'm gonna call people. No one's gonna be home, and I don't know where the fuck to go.
It's got to be 7:30.
And
Right.
I'm gonna be stuck home on a Friday night
Right.
because you wanted dessert.
Right.
You know?
So yeah, that's crazy.
It is
'Cause
crazy.
I used
It's
to
a
think
different
about that.
world
I
back
used
then.
to think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call my friend like I'm leaving now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just
I think in a weird way, I think everything's better now, technology wise, and everything in life is better. Clearly, like quality of life or something like that.
but that was still cool. To me,
That was
too.
cool though. I think
Like,
there was
we
some
used to
stuff we take for
drive.
granted.
I used to put like 100 miles on my parents' car like every week. You drive around, try to find parties, try to find what people were drinking. Like,
Well, I remember when MTV would have concerts. They'd have like Friday night. This band is going to be live in concert. And we're showing you a live concert.
yeah,
I remember I was like 8 or 9. But I remember my babysitter when Nirvana did their Unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
She had like a party for it. She had like friends over, and that's how big it was back then because there was no internet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
with no internet, people got together more. I feel like.
Right. Yeah.
So that part I miss.
Right.
And do you ever watch concert footage from like before cell phones?
No.
The crowds are just bouncing.
Right.
Everyone's just having
now
a blast.
everyone's like
Everyone's on their phone.
Right,
So I know
yeah.
I sound like an old man bitching about it now, but I
man.
think we missed out. I think that was better back then.
Yeah. That
So that's
part.
why when I hear about like Hannibal and Chappelle and other comedians doing it now, I think Joe Rogan does it too.
What, with the
where you
no
have to
phone?
you have to put your cell
Yeah,
phone
the
in like
yonder
that.
cases.
Yeah, the yonder case or whatever they call it.
What's
That's
it
just the
called?
brand name.
I mean, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just basically a case you put your phone
Yeah.
in or something like that. That way you can't take pictures during the thing or whatever.
Mhm.
Louis C.K.'s got it on his tour now where you can't even take notes during his show. Like if you're at his show and you take out a pen, someone's gonna be like, "Fucking give me that pen!" Like I just
Right.
wanted to sign a check. Like they sick you.
Really?
Yeah, I was hurt because when he was at the Rosemont Zanies, people were telling me that one guy just like took out a pencil and someone like went at him going. They were like watching
but
for that.
I guess it makes sense because if someone does sneak, well, I don't know about writing, but remember, there's somebody that happened to somebody because some journalist wrote about.
I think it was about Louis. They leaked audio from
Yeah.
stuff he was working out.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, he's against the Parkland kids."
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
he's just working out a bit.
Right.
And people
That's
don't
a-
realize that, like the infancy of our jokes,
Right.
like the first time you do a joke versus the time it's perfected,
Right.
it's a completely
Totally
different
different.
joke
Right.
essentially.
Because it's like when I saw, but when Dave Chappelle was at the Chicago Theater versus the Netflix, he's the same like jokes, but he totally said differently, totally dropped some part, and then the juicy Smollett part wasn't even a part of it because that shit hadn't happened yet.
By the way, I can't believe I'm revealing this. I was about to tweet, my phone died. This is the other night, so I'm glad you brought up Jussie Smollett. Do you know he was in Mighty Ducks?
No.
Yes, he's in the Mighty Ducks.
Who?
He plays the little brother of the one dude. Remember how there's two brothers on the team?
No,
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
seen
he was the
Mighty
younger
Ducks.
No
brother.
way.
Yes. And so I found that
Why
out.
you gonna look it up?
Shit
This
up.
shit
Dude, look it up on
now.
IMDb. I found it out by chance, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to tweet everyone. Jussie Smollett's in Mighty Ducks 1. I forgive him. You know what I mean? Like, all's forgiven. I didn't know he was in that movie.
You're gonna forgive Jussie Smollett because he was in fucking
Get
Mighty
the-
Ducks.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks was like a great
outta
movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I rewatched it, actually. It doesn't hold up like the
You
way
know,
I
the
thought it
Cosby Show was great too.
would. Was he on the
Right.
Cosby Show?
No,
Well-
he's just trying to
Oh,
say
but-
a lot of shit was great.
Yeah, I mean, Justin
No.
didn't rape a bunch of people. Come on, man. You can't compare the two.
There he is.
Yeah, he was.
That's fucking
But he wasn't in the sequel.
disappointing.
I know
Because
what
he lied, saying a bunch of hockey players who's trying to hang him.
happened. Said they tried to rape him and
Hey, he's coming off a subway. And like,
right. Threw bleach on him and shit.
my
yeah,
God.
it's fucked up. All right, there was one thing I want to talk to you about.
Yes,
Your
sir.
favorite musical artist is Taylor Swift. And
You know the fuck it's not.
I know,
Taylor
just
Swift.
like Larry Bird's not mine.
I'm sorry.
No, but you did post that your favorite
Man.
Taylor Swift song is what's the song? Trouble When You Walked In. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
That's-
yeah.
What's the name of the song? Is that
I
what
knew
it's
you were trouble. I
I love that song.
do you
It's a
really?
good song.
That is a
She's
good
got some hits,
song.
but you don't
no,
like her?
I hate her. I hate
Is
her.
it her
as a-
personality or the songs?
I hate her as a human being. I actually read this article once about her, and then
She's been giving a charity lately, I think. She's trying to do something, I think.
no, she's like the boy who cried wolf. Like John Mayer said something about her.
She's banged everyone in Hollywood.
She's banged everyone. And
By the way,
then-
John Mayer's banged everyone too, though. That dude is hooked up with a lot. Do you
I
find
met
him
him-
good looking? If you don't mind if she says yes?
Yes.
You do?
I met
I
him
don't
at the.
get
I
it.
met him at Chicago Theater.
Oh, yeah, because him and Chappelle are like best friends.
Yes. And so
He
when
must
we-
be cool as fuck,
when
right?
we
Because
were
he
back-
hangs out with cool people.
Yeah, when we were backstage, and it was me and Dave Chappelle talking, and then the security guard came up, and then Dave Chappelle goes, "Oh, my friend John's gonna stop by," and then he went on stage, and then so I was standing there, and then John Mayer came up, and I was like, "Holy shit, John Mayer!" I was like, "Oh my god!" And some random girl who was like a groupie with Vic Mensa was like, "My body's a wonderland. Will you lick my asshole or something?" like that?
Whoa!
And he goes, "Did she say lick my asshole or eat my asshole?" I was like, I don't.
Is there a difference?
There's difference. Yeah. What the fuck? And he's like, "Oh well." But yeah, so that was my moment with.
He's
John.
tall, though, right? He's a tall
Yeah,
guy.
he's very tall. I would say like 6'3".
Plays great
6'4".
guitar. What was weird about him was
He's like a prodigy. isn't
people
he?
know that he's like an insanely gifted like blues guitar
Yeah.
player and can play like anything.
Yeah.
But the songs he writes they're always so like
It's so cheesy,
fluffy,
right? That's what
you
I said.
know?
He's like a prodigy with a guitar. That's what I've heard.
yeah,
but
because
yeah.
no, whenever there's like these all-star blues guitar tours,
Yeah.
it's like the greatest blues guitar players
And
we've
then
ever
John
heard of.
Mayer.
And then John Mayer, and you're kind of
Right.
like, how does it?
But
you
then he
know,
makes Your Body's a Wonderland.
They got
yeah.
like Robert Randolph, B.B. King, you know what I mean? Like Buddy
then
Guy.
John Mayer.
And then John Mayer.
But,
Skinny ass, like, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I read this.
You gotta be a little fat to be a good blues guitar
Yeah.
player. You need a gut,
You
I
have
feel like, right?
diabetes.
You need something.
right. And he a little
Because what does he have the
hypertension.
blues about?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I
He
don't
said,
know
like,
anything about
perfect-
John
yeah,
Mayer.
he
Did he
went
grow
to,
up
like,
rich? I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
And then
Okay.
he went to like this unbelievable school. I know that.
Oh, one of those like music, like
Yeah.
Juilliard type of deals or something.
But yeah, Taylor Swift, she's like a boy who cries wolf. Like she gets in relationships and then the shit doesn't work out, but then she writes like these breakup anthems about him that, like how John Mayer said that. Like she, we just didn't work out. And then she writes all these songs and like, they could be about John. And he's like, bitch, I didn't do shit to you. Like we just fucking didn't work out. And then
I get that.
And that whole Kanye West shit, like you heard about that shit.
No,
right?
of course. I mean, that was a big thing with Kanye.
Yeah, and then
didn't she
Kim,
call him, and then they like recorded her calling.
yeah,
him
and
saying,
then
like,
and then she totally negates what she said, and he's like, it's illegal to record people in California, but it's like, no, but they did record you saying, oh, it's funny if you say I made that bitch famous, but
see, I like when you were talking earlier about when you and Clark did a podcast and you guys were just trashing comedians you don't like.
No. We were first of all,
That wasn't the whole
that
podcast.
is not
I know
what
that.
the fuck we were doing. We were
The
talking
podcast
about
is called
black.
Erica Hates These People.
No, we were talking about black movies. Clark and I always talk about black movies and like the problems with it. Like there's like we talk about Love Jones and shit and whatever, just black movies. Like what was Clark noticed that
Is Love
Omar,
Jones the two basketball? They're both basketball players.
No, that would be Love and Basketball.
Okay.
Love Jones is about like a couple in Chicago. Never mind.
Wasn't there a song about I got a
No,
basketball Jones?
please stop it. Please,
Space
just
Jam.
please
There's a
stop
song
it.
called Got a basketball Jones. I can't sing.
Stop it. So we always talk like, and then Clark noticed that fucking Omar Epps goes to USC in every fucking movie.
Yeah,
that
higher
he's
learning. I
in,
think it was USC.
right? In the program, and
It was a fictitious school, but they were USC colors.
right. It's 4
Basically
movies in a
USC.
row that he goes to USC.
I just remember.
Fuck.
Remember he was Major League 2. He took over for Wesley Snipes.
No,
He played, like, the new
who
Willie
saw
Mays
Major
Hayes.
League 2? Like,
I
what was the
did.
point of seeing Major League 2?
Because I saw the first one and I had to know how the saga continues.
Oh my!
No, I don't mind Taylor Swift. Adele annoys me more with breakup stuff.
No,
I feel-
she's thin now.
Is she? Oh, great. Even more. She may be breaking up with higher profile people. But doesn't it feel like these people get in relationships just to get the material out of them? Just to self-sabotage?
I felt like that when I was like single, not like get into relationships, but I felt like I would go on dates or like deal with people just for like
To get some stand material out of
yeah,
it?
or just to be like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, see, I never really I wasn't single long enough to do any like single guy material as a comic.
I know you've been with your girl for like 16 years.
Yeah, long time. You know, little break in between, but essentially 16 years or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, straight through. I don't know why it makes you giggle, Erica. My wife's listening. I hope she's not. I'm gonna get in some trouble. Be like, why was she laughing at that? What's so funny about that?
Nothing.
And if you're listening, baby, I'm gonna pick up the formula on the way home. Don't worry.
You're gonna pick up the what?
Formula
Aww.
for my 6-month-old son, little Dylan.
Oh.
Yeah. It's off the boobs onto the formula, which is probably good. After a certain point, you're like, all right, let's.
And does she have to work in the morning?
No, she's off tomorrow.
Okay.
We got a pretty good. It's
Schedule.
not bad because as a nurse, she works 12-hour shifts. So on those days, it's me and the boys all by myself. So that could be wearing on me for a little bit. You know what I mean? I love it though, but after a certain amount of time, I'm tired. Only because before my second son was born, my eldest, which is weird because he's 2, my eldest, because it sounds like a 30-year-old, but he still takes great naps. I put him down for a nap at like noon. He wakes up at 4. So as a comic, it was
That's
perfect because
too
I
long.
can nap. No, they suggest that stuff.
Oh,
it's good. No,
from
it's
12
good.
to 4, really?
They should be sleeping like all the time
Yeah.
at that age, you know, so it's fine. And I would be able to get stuff done
Right.
and, you know, and take a nap if I needed one. And I
Right.
felt like in a better mental place. But my son Dylan, he's a little baby, so he's not on that great a schedule. So I don't get as much done. And then I get overwhelmed. I get frustrated. And then I love it, but no, not shaking the kids. I don't take it out on them at all. What happens is I come to do a podcast or a show, and by 9:30 at night, I'm exhausted, and I just don't have time to like put up with shit. So like
And
I get
then
pissed
Mean
off,
Joe
and the mean
comes
joke
out.
comes out where I tell the audience to go fuck themselves and stuff like that. You know, which doesn't happen too often. Usually, I'm pretty cool with the audience. It's my coworkers that have to feel my wrath, like poor James over here.
It's all good.
Yeah, that's a good answer
Aw.
from James, right?
Right.
Or what else I want to mention with you? Our buddy Hannibal, we alluded to him earlier, took some flack on. Oh no, let me finish this. You and Clark. So yeah, it was a movie podcast, but then you even said earlier that you guys ended up.
We ended up talking about one.
Oh,
well,
one.
No, not one. Okay, maybe 2 or 3.
I thought it was a couple, but I was going to say this. I don't mind that much. Like when the Kanye Taylor Swift stuff went down, I did think it was a dick move to go up there and take it or whatever. But I don't mind artists talking shit.
Right.
I don't think you should go out of your way and be like, fuck
Right.
that person, fuck this person, and all that. But if there's like an artist you don't like, fine.
Right.
And that's been like that since the beginning of time.
Right.
They said like Mozart and other people from, I don't know who else was in
Right.
his era. Bach? I don't know. He was about like, Bach sucks ass or whatever. One
Right.
of them was deaf, so they couldn't hear us. It was like middle fingers or whatever
Right.
they did back then. And then like
He was only
Elvis
deaf
talked.
in one ear.
One of them was deaf, right?
He wasn't totally deaf, was he?
Well, that'd be even more
He's
remarkable.
only deaf
that
in
he
one
could play
ear.
piano that he can't hear. How do you know it sounded good? Right? That's some confidence right there. Da-da-da-da. That's the shit. And you're like, how do you know?
Right.
You can't hear it.
You can see the people clapping.
Yeah, that's good enough. Maybe they're clapping because they're like, it's amazing he can do anything remote. He can't hear. At least he's trying. Good effort.
Right.
Someone else rewrote it. Where they said Shakespeare never really wrote his shit. They someone
Right.
else.
Yeah.
So like Elvis talks shit about the Beatles, you know, and I know like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles maybe got into it a little bit and other
Okay.
bands. So like throughout the history of Michael Jackson and Prince, I think they try to be friends, but then like a little bit of shit talking
Yeah.
was there. Nirvana and Pearl Jam, like
Really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
Kurt Cobain he was talking. He's like, I met Eddie Vedder. We talked on the phone. Really nice guy. I just think his band sucks. And he was so honest as hell. Kurt Cobain was so honest about you. He was
Right.
like, Bon Jovi blows. This guy blows. They suck. Like, you know, he didn't say blows,
Ooh,
but
yeah.
it's me paraphrasing. And I always thought like, oh, that's kind of cool in a weird way. I know some people are like, no, everyone should be nice. I'm like, no, let him be
Right.
honest. What do you think of this? Don't like it. I
Right.
kind of respect that.
Right. Then like, oh, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So
So that's why I thought you'd be one of those people that's like, no, your dick is trash. That orgasm did not happen. And,
I
mean, you're young. I get it. I was
I
only messing
don't
with
know.
you. I was messing with you. You're young. When you're young, you know.
Yes, everyone.
You don't want to hurt feelings. That's different. I'm not getting. By the way, women who are listening, because I've got a huge female listenership. I actually have no
Good.
idea. I just know what cities people are listening in. Be nice. You could be nice. You know. I'm saying
What?
that like
To a guy who has trash dick, like to be nice to him.
I'm not.
Or
if
just
you
not to
want to
say
be
that?
nice, or don't say anything. I'm not saying be mean spirited. I'm trying to be nice. I realized I was just being mean to dudes who can't make women come. Now I'm trying to say, hey, it's okay.
Because there's like
Look,
a
these dudes
difference.
end up
There's
shooting
like two
places up. I'm
different.
trying to calm that down.
There's a difference. There's like a difference between like someone who's giving it the old college try, and then it's kind of like, well, whatever. We can work on that.
Gotcha.
And then there's the other one where it's just like, I got mine. You like you're trash.
Oh, it's kind of
Your
like.
whole fucking family's trash.
So we're going.
Fuck your mother. Fuck
That
yeah.
sex
and
was
then
so bad that I want your whole bloodline to
Right,
suffer.
yeah. So it's like it's all in the attitude.
hilarious.
Like and most dudes are kind of like, we can work on it. You know, again.
Probably
later.
like trying on a pair of shoes. The first time you're like, I'll break these in. It's good. Everything goes back to shoes in this
Why
podcast.
did you
This
say
is
break
just
that
shoe
in?
themed.
That sounds so gross.
Oh,
to
breaking
me.
into
That
sound
sound-
gross to a
yeah,
woman. To a
that
guy, it
sounds
doesn't
so
sound gross.
nasty.
It's like, I'm going to break
Had
that
to,
in.
had to break that in. Like, no, that
break it
sounds
in.
fucking gross and
I didn't mean, like,
virgin-y and
breaking
shit.
your
like,
body.
Oh yeah. Had to
You
break-
took it that way, not me.
That's what it sounds like. That's
Okay.
what it sounds like. I had
That
to
is what it
break
sounds
that
like.
in. Like, oh Jesus. Nobody
Fuck.
says that about a dick. You only say that about vaginas. Like, oh, I had to break. You know why that kind of grossed me out? Because I just saw a porn that was like, it was called like,
Oh, you got that great porn joke, too. I love that joke.
it was like first time anal breaking her in, and it was like, oh my god.
Yeah. That's
Oh
why
my God.
your joke about porn titles is funny, because some of the titles I'm
Yes.
just like, why would anyone click on that? That's terrible.
Yeah.
The late great Dan Ronan. Remember Dan? Dan was a comic in Chicago. Everybody, look up his stuff on YouTube. He
Yeah,
died.
it was so funny.
So funny. He died, unfortunately, like, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. He was only 24. He had a joke about watching a porn where, like, the girl was cheating on her boyfriend. Remember? Yeah. And then she's like, you got a way bigger dick than my boyfriend. And the guy's like, yeah, tell me more. And he's like, why do I have to know about that?
Right.
Yeah, he lost his job, too. Like, I'll just, like, she kept going, like, he's got bad credit. Like, it was just, he kept adding to it. It was so fucking funny. I
Right.
was
She's
dying.
like, ooh, yeah.
He's like, why can't I just watch people fuck? Why do I have to find out that not only
I
she's cheating, but the boyfriend has an inferior dick and all this other stuff?
Because I think people get like, oh, that's why I was saying.
People must get off on that, otherwise it wouldn't exist, right?
Because it's like, I told you, that for real, all the white porn is all like step uncle.
Yeah, but I don't know who's
stepmom,
representing us with that. I'm not into that.
stepmom.
It's clearly
Gives
making
it
them
up
enough
to
money.
it.
It
Yeah,
must
but
be.
it's like there's something about the thought of like, oh,
No, when I click on it, it's all stepsister shit.
it's all stepsister shit.
Yeah.
Which is like, to me, like the, it's like, do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have one older sister, a younger sister, younger brother.
Oh yeah, I know your brother. Yeah, he came to your the north part. Yeah,
he's 22.
Yeah. The young.
Yeah. He made out with a female comic.
Yep,
She'll remain nameless.
That's what
He
I
will
was
remain nameless.
He what now? Say that sentence again. He made out with a female comic. Is that what you're sticking with?
They fooled around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's just
Okay.
That's
Yes. All right.
And
now, but you would never have a threesome with your brother.
No.
That's what all the porn things say.
Why? Yeah.
They're all
weird.
like a guy fucks two sisters. Like I would
never. That's such an old guy thing. Remember the Coors Light commercial and twins?
Right. Like twins would never.
Twins aren't gonna fuck each other.
One dude. That's so
Why would
gross
they share
to me.
that?
Like
no.
Yes, that's what. Like that's always weird.
I had a friend who thought he was gonna have a threesome once, and he was making out with the one, and he was fooling around with the other one earlier in the night, and thought something would happen. And as he's telling the story, I knew, but he didn't know, because they worked at a bar where a lot of comedy shows are happening. And as he's about to say it, I'm like, let me guess, they're cousins. He's like, yeah, you knew? I'm like, everyone knows they're cousins, you idiot.
Right. See,
you thought you were gonna have a threesome with two cousins, you fucking weirdo.
But I think men, or not men, but like
deviants or idiots.
like
yeah, they don't.
Fantasy is like, ooh, two sisters, and like
I think fantasy is just two women. I don't know if it has to be two sisters.
two sisters, so gross.
I don't. I think the fantasy is two women.
Like I never want to see my sister.
Two women's
naked.
definitely the fantasy. I know with the stepsister stuff, which is all over porn.
I
remember clicking on one because the caption was caught. I was into videos. I'll admit this. It was the video description made it seem like the dude was like sleeping over at someone's house, woke up with a boner, and she was like, "Hey, you got to wake up. Ooh, that's a boner. I want to fuck you." And then I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, that's
Classic
kind of a cool
setup.
fantasy, right? That's the classic setup."
Yeah. Classic setup.
You know,
You're
I walk in
walking up
and you
by your
showering. Oh
friends-
my god, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm
Hey,
not.
let's bang.
Look
Like,
at that.
that's like a fun one. But that became like the whole genre now, and it's stupid that they do that. I don't get that. But your joke is about how that's white porn, but black porn is just
has the most
super
disrespectful.
disrespectful to
Yeah,
women.
they're all fucked up titles. They're all fucking a baby daddy for gas money and fucking blunts, and it's like, what the fuck? You guys have the step parents and shit, and we're fucking for fucking whiteout and $5 and shit. Like, what the fuck? Big ass thought, like fucks in alley for like, what the fuck?
Here's another comedian, everyone. Comedian CJ Sullivan has this joke where he talks about how he goes, I know I'm getting old because when I watch porn, I go, damn, that's a nice house. I had that recently. I'm like, that bathroom's amazing.
The furniture's nice, right?
Such a good bathroom.
See, I was having this conversation with one, and I'm like, I want to add this to my joke, but have you ever, do you feel as like the older you're getting, the less professional stars you want, and the more like
Amateur?
looks like a guy
porn
down the
related?
street? Yeah, porn related. Yeah,
No.
you stick with like the one who looks like a star.
I want the pros.
You want the pros,
I want
really?
the cinematography.
Really?
The amateur ones, the Steadicam sucks.
You want the
Um,
sit with the different angles and her being.
No, some of the angles are still, for the love of God, porn. Nobody wants to see the behind the man's asshole angle.
Yes, they do.
You do. I don't.
Like a
No
man
guy.
doesn't.
No guy wants to see the angle of the balls going in like that from. Yeah, I think this is an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They talk about that, where he goes that horrible angle where it's like the hat. Like I don't want to see behind. Like all you're seeing is the back of the dude's balls.
Right.
I don't even know what the back of my own balls look like.
Right, but you don't
Like, why do I
want
wanna
to see that. Okay, fine.
No, all the other angles are great. I don't need that one. That one's
But
like
see,
it's like behind the catcher in baseball. I can't tell if it's strike.
I can't.
Okay?
I don't. You're so stupid. But I God, I hate talking to you. I can't stand like. Oh, I don't like the professional because you know why? Because I was watching a woman get like DP'd in her like 2 dicks in her ass. Jesus. And she was like, oh, like she's still doing it for the camera, no soul, nothing. She's not screaming.
A real woman would be
She's
crying.
like,
for
a
that.
real
Yeah.
woman, yeah, would be crying, would be passing
what the
out,
fuck?
vomiting. She was like, like at the camera, and I was like, I see, this is.
See that
I
one,
need
you
to
know,
see-
I don't want to kink shame anyone, but it's putting your dick rubbing up against another dick into someone's hole.
It's
I
too
mean,
much.
Too much.
It's too
That's
much.
just weird.
What about the separate? Is that weird?
It's separate. At least you have a case. You have a case for it.
That's
I
so
just the only
gross.
threesome I would ever want to do is 2 women and me. I
No.
couldn't do 2 men. I couldn't do another dude. Sorry, I just couldn't do it. I don't know. Maybe if I were like,
we've had this conversation
I
before.
couldn't.
He could never have. You've never had a threesome with another dude and a girl. Somebody told me that that's a train.
the train thing is like, she's blowing you while you're hitting from behind, and then we get to high five and the Eiffel Tower over it.
Why is that a train?
No, a train is when it's one girl and there's a line of guys. And
That's what I
coming in.
said.
That's
That's
a
a
train.
train.
That person is wrong. Who told you that?
The line is you run a train on her, which really sounds offensive when you in the 2019 scope. Dude, on the car ride, because we road tripped, St. Louis, obviously, we were listening to so many songs from like back in the day, and we're like, fuck, this song couldn't get played now. And I brought this song up before. Shake That Ass For Me with Eminem and Warren G and Nate Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
That all the lyrics to that song are like, oh, this could never get played on the radio now.
What is he saying?
He's like, he wants a slut. Would you be mine? I heard that you like it from behind. Like all the lyrics are like, and then the one lyric is, I want a girl who will wait at the crib for me with no panties on. She knows that she could say no, but she won't. Which I'm like, that's nice. That's nice. She could say no, but doesn't. That's not bad. But like a lot of the rest of the songs, just like, the one lyric that made me laugh my ass off was something about like double check because strobe lights lie or something like that. Which I was just laughing my ass off.
Right.
I think it's Nate Dogg had that real deep, cool voice.
Like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So did he die?
Yes.
Yeah, it sucks. But I remember that was like a song I hadn't heard in forever. And there's a bunch of songs where I was like, because I remember when Robin Thicke had that song with Pharrell and T.I. Who else was on that song? T.I. Yeah. And it was You Want It was like the lyric, and everyone was like, this is rape culture. This song's terrible.
Blurred Lines.
Yeah, Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
I remember being like, this song is nothing compared to late '90s music.
It's nothing compared to anything. Like
It was like, I don't know. I thought that was over. The music video had the women walking around topless.
so.
It was a female director. They all got paid.
I feel like I
don't know. I just didn't think that
feel
was that
like
big a
if
deal.
you watch or like even if it's something, I'm trying to think of something like
Who's having this last one, by the way? Do you want it? You can
You
have
want
it.
it?
Do you want it? No? Good. All right. No. Hey,
I-
cut
I-
these up because I like
Yeah,
fish.
I will.
Thanks, man. I don't like when they get stuck in shit. Go ahead. It's the six-pack ring, everybody. I keep doing stuff where you're just like, shut the fuck up, Joe.
Yeah, I feel like no matter how dope something is, like then there always comes like a wave of like, well, because they saw this movie Parasites.
Everyone's been raving about
Oh
that.
my god, it was so
Cool,
fucking
right?
dope.
Is it like a Korean movie, though, or something?
Yeah, it was Korean. I had no idea what it
Subtitles?
was about. Yeah. So like
Another
the
movie
second
called The Host that was like that.
yeah,
You ever see The Host, James?
the second I saw the subtitles, I was like, oh,
Or The
fuck
Raid?
did I just do?
Oh, really? But
Yeah.
then you loved it.
Loved it. But yeah, so it's a great movie about
Pan's
like
Labyrinth
class,
was like that for me.
like class, like poor people and rich people and shit like that. So great.
check
And
that
then
out.
now there's like a wave of like, it is kind of offensive how like it's just
That
like
movie?
god
Offensive to
damn.
who, though?
It's like all for like 2 weeks, and now it's like, well, I didn't like the part when like I don't know, it's something like stupid. It's something so stupid, but it kind of makes women. It's something so fucking like lame that people are like nitpicking. Like, yeah, I did notice that, and it's just
By
like,
the way, I found out nitpicking is a derogatory term.
oh yeah, you told me.
Did I tell you that? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, they are randomly. Just-
Woke white girl told me that.
Oh, I don't like woke white girl.
I don't either. You and I have talked about the term woke, about how we don't like it because Nolan from Galway Bay Pub brought it up because he didn't know what it meant. And then he later was like, isn't that stupid because it applies you were asleep?
Yeah,
And,
well,
he's like, and then he said a whole thing where it's like, what, you just found out racism exists in 2019?
Right.
How fucking dumb were you the last couple
Yeah.
decades? I'm like, yeah, good point.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
bragging that they're woke, but it really just means you were ignorant the last 7 years or
Shit.
whatever.
Did you hear about the fucking Harriet Tubman movie?
I saw you post about it. They changed the whole history of it. They made up the
Yeah.
character.
Fucking weird.
They
That's
just
fucked
made
up.
up a fucking
That's fucked up.
bounty hunter that was chasing her.
I
up.
saw your post for that after watching American History X for the first time in like 20 years.
Oh shit.
Well, because I was flipping through Netflix, I'm on the road,
Uh-huh.
and I like Ed Norton, and then I just came across American History X. I'm like, damn, I remember seeing that like in high school, and it
Yeah,
being like
that's when
hard
I-
to watch.
Right.
And then I'm like, I'll rewatch it, which was stupid because I was like, it was toward the end of the night, and I
Right.
stayed up. It was not a
Did
movie you
you-
could watch 5 minutes and be like, I'm sleeping now.
Right. Gonna go to sleep to this Nazi.
That's a hard movie to watch. Yeah,
Sweet dreams.
great acting, shot well, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard to watch.
I haven't seen it. I saw it one time.
He's a
and I was
great
like,
actor in it, though, Ed Norton.
But yeah, it's yeah, I guess yeah, they added
But that's
some
got like
bounty
it's got
hunters.
it's authentic and it's got like a good twist. But I don't like the movies like you're saying where they're like you're just rewriting history for whatever's sake.
Yeah, for like real stupid like
Were you
teenagers.
saying white knighting it or something like that?
Yeah,
whatever
they
the term
they
is?
added like
Whitewashing it or
they added
something?
like a black bounty hunter who's chasing her, and then her former slave owner saves her.
Was that
And-
even a thing? Did they have?
No, a fucking slave
Well, I mean-
owner didn't save Harriet Tubman.
No, I meant like black bounty hunters. Were there
No!
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't know. I don't. Like,
We
I
have
imagine
all
it
these
was fake.
slaves, and then we're gonna make him about. No, there was no black people with paying jobs, and then like and I guess he's like he has a white girlfriend in the movie or something that's impossible to have happen.
Yes.
I
mean, there
But
was
yeah.
a movie recently.
And his
That
name
one,
is Bigger Long. I'm like, what the fuck kind of fucking Pornhub name is Bigger Long? Like,
Did I ever tell you the
fuck outta
story?
here.
That reminds me with the word bigger.
Yes.
I was texting Curtis at the Laugh Factory
Oh,
once.
no.
And B is next to the N. And I sound like, oh my God. And I
You
fucking
got scared. And
it wasn't the word bigger, it was big. And then I wrote back to him, I'm like, dude, no, I meant the B. And then he's like, I figured, dude. Relax.
Right.
I was like, Jesus Christ, you know.
But yeah.
You just don't want that out there. What if I piss him off? He screenshots it. My career's
Screenshots
over.
it over. Cancel Joe. Yeah, Bigger Long.
Because I texted like, oh yeah, I'm
Put
going to
that
go
on a
big
t-shirt.
tonight. But instead it was, I'm going to go NIG tonight. And then he was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, no. I remember Marty DeRosa was right next to me as I texted him. I think we were walking out of WGN for like Pat Tamasulo's show. And I was like, oh, damn it. You know. It's crazy.
Oh, fuck.
Good job.
Oh, man. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention? So I mentioned Hannibal. Sorry, I'm
Yes.
bouncing around here a little bit. So you talked about like just being in the green room, and then all of a sudden he says, my friend John, and then John Mayer shows up.
Yes.
I had something like that. Hannibal was doing a show in L.A. when I was living in L.A. I saw he was in town, so I texted him, hey, what are you up to tonight and all that? And he goes, oh, I'm doing a show over here. It was like right before Christmas. And he like texted me the address, and yeah, come on by. And there's other comics there, so it's cool. Like Al Jackson was there, and like Byron Bauer, so you know, it's a good crew. And he texted me the address, and I just figured it was like a venue. And I get there, and it's like a warehouse. And I knew the area actually because I worked not too far from there. So I was like, what is going on here? I walk in, it's the Red Bull holiday party.
Ooh, wow.
So Red Bull. And when I walk in, there's like carnival games and so. Then I hear Hannibal's voice on like a speaker, but I don't see him anywhere. Then I find there's like an area in which the music and comedy was going to be. It was the worst setup for stand-up comedy. There was like a bunch of people up front, but like there was no seats, and it was more like for like a dance rave type of atmosphere. And he's just powering through. You know, even someone as big as him was just barely getting any laughs. And he even said, he's like, when my agent called me up saying, hey, do you want to do the Red Bull holiday party? I'm like, fuck no. A bunch of douchebags hopped on a Red Bull? Absolutely not. All right, well, they want to pay you what a mechanic makes in a year in one day. All right, yeah, I'm there. You know, yeah. I think he got like $60,000 for the show or something
Holy
insane like that. Yeah, I
shit.
mean, that's what a mechanic would probably make, right?
Right.
And anyway, they power through the show, and then he takes us backstage where he had like free Jameson hooked up, you know, 'cause he's a whiskey guy, I think. And we're back there drinking. This dude walks in, and Hannibal knew him. He's like, hey, what's up? And he's like right next to me, and I knew who he was right away. And I'm standing right there, and the guy goes, hey, what's up, man? I'm Sonny. And I'm like, hey, you know, good to meet you. And I kind of had a hesitation as he said, hi, I'm Sonny. And, you know, just a little chit-chat. What's up? You know, that. And 2 minutes later leaves. And I said to Hannibal, I'm like, dude, isn't that Skrillex? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, why did he say his name was Sonny? He goes, hi, I'm Skrillex. But my thought was, well, he fucking should.
Right.
'Cause I don't know who the fuck Sonny,
Sonny
is.
is-
Nobody's doing Molly and listening to a guy named Sonny. They're listening to Skrillex.
DJ Sonny.
But then I thought to myself, I'm like, man, what if you met Hulk Hogan? And he was like, hi, I'm Terry. You'd be like,
Terry.
fuck you, you're Terry.
Yeah, that's his wife would call
You're
him.
Hulk Hogan.
That's his wife would call him. I remember that when I was
She
little.
was saying that.
Terry.
Oh, Terry, come over here.
Terry, stop.
Yeah, I didn't like that, though. But it made me think of the John Mayer thing. And Hannibal also got a lot of flack on Twitter, as you and I talked about a little bit before the podcast.
For being a landlord.
He's a landlord. But I didn't get that was a bad thing. And, like, I'm a pretty liberal guy, as people know. I'm very progressive on a lot of stuff. And I didn't, you know, I want free health care, you know. But I didn't understand that we were against the idea of rent as a concept. So if we don't want landlords, what's the alternative to that, James? You listen to these people. What do they want instead?
I mean, so that whole concept is based on landlords ruining the housing market, because when people with a lot of money snatch up property, they can raise the cost of living in that property, which is, you know, we all go through that. I'm going through that right now. When I buy this place, I'm going to be paying significantly less in my mortgage than I'm paying right now in rent. So that's one aspect. The other is, like, you know, a lot of landlords are lazy because they don't want to hire fucking people to clean up the place or fix shit up.
Yeah, they want to maximize their profit.
Yeah, so
no,
they
I get
just
hating
kinda-
landlords for that, but it felt like
That's
they had no knowledge of how he was as a landlord.
Oh,
They
yeah,
just didn't
no.
like the concept that he was a landlord.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a stupid thing to do. Yeah.
Right,
that's
like that he
kinda
owns
dumb.
a building. That's
If
I think-
anyone's going to take care of it, Hannibal will take care of it.
right. I think they think of like comics as like being the renter and like being broke and Not like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no,
we're
but-
always on the other side of it.
I agree. I think that's what they think.
Right. We
But-
don't think that we like own property. And,
I remember when I heard Hannibal bought like some rental property
Yeah.
a few years back. They're like, oh, he's back in Chicago. I think he's bought an apartment building or something like that. I remember thinking, good, that's a great investment.
right. Yeah.
He's making a lot of money that he worked his ass off to get to that point where he could sell out theaters.
Right.
So fuck yeah, dude. You should. What a better investment to do than to have an apartment building because if he gets canceled for being a landlord, it would be hilarious. It would be hilarious.
I know, right?
I don't want Hannibal to get canceled because the guy's awesome and he's been
Right.
good to me and he's a good guy and it's fun to talk
Right.
to and he's a hilarious comic. I do think it'd be a funny concept to him get canceled, but then he's like, it's okay, I got all these rental properties.
Right, yeah, like,
you
okay.
canceled me for being a landlord, but don't worry.
Rent is going the fuck
I'm gonna
up,
raise it
right?
even higher now,
Right.
motherfucker. That's what you get. I had to combat the cancellation. And all the people who lived there were like, what the fuck? He's a pretty good landlord. Why'd you do this to us?
You know,
It always makes
mass
me
evictions.
It always makes me laugh. Yeah, right. Just evicting everyone. I saw you like that tweet.
Right, get out. Right, yeah.
Well, it makes me funny when people go out of their way. They think they're fighting for a group and they end up fucking over that group. This happened with here in Chicago Blackhawks, and a lot of NHL teams have them ice girls. Mm-hmm. And so the Blackhawks had these ice girls that would scoop up the ice in between periods and stuff like that. And they wear kind of sexy outfits. And all these people were like, it's so misogynistic, it's sexist, we need to get rid of them. And then the women themselves were like, I get health insurance through this.
Right,
what the fuck are you
yeah.
doing? I liked ice
No,
skating as a
but-
kid, and this is
right.
the only way I can still do it. It's not
Right.
a job, I
Right.
can't figure skate anymore for money. What the fuck? Like, I'm 27. It's a few days a week. Why are you doing this
Right.
to me? And so it's like these feminists were putting women out of work
Right, just to be
because
like,
they
yeah.
didn't like it. And I'm like, you
It's like
are
the Lovables.
idiots.
Do you know how much the Lovables get paid?
No, how much?
They get paid $50 a show.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. They don't get great
Yeah.
pay.
Right, but there's like 3 of them are doctors, and it's like that's so crazy to me. Like, could you?
Some of these are just
It's-
women who like dancing and
Like
it's
they like
exercise
dance,
and it's
right?
fun. They get to
Just
perform.
like you said, the ice skaters.
Yeah, they choreograph
dance.
shit.
Yeah, they're
don't
like
mind that it's only,
former
you know.
cheerleaders that like to dance still. But I think it's just so funny to be like, because one's like a gynecologist. I think it's just so funny to just think like if I saw my gynecologist like out there like. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, yeah.
Bitch,
That'd be pretty weird. Would you be like, I
give
don't
me
want to
back
go to
my
her
fucking
anymore?
pap smear. Like, how the fuck did my results come out? Like, what the fuck are you doing these high kicks? Bulls ain't doing shit this year. Yeah.
Oh, they're fucking brutal, right?
Right.
I don't know. I just think we're living in a weird world where I just want an alternative. When they say they don't like landlords, what do they want? Do they want the government to own all the housing? Because that seems
Yes, that's what they want,
that
which is stupid.
that seems kind of dumb too. Because
Yeah.
it used to, when the apartments started this way, like the history of apartments was basically, oh, there's some land. Here's what I'll do. I'll build 3 units and rent them out to people, and people like that because they're like, oh, cool. It's near something. It's this and that. And I think it started off fine. Do some landlords gouge and fuck people over? Absolutely. But maybe add some, measures to stop that. I don't know why you
Rent control is all you need.
rent control or change
it.
the whole kind. Would rent control discourage people from becoming landlords?
Yeah.
then?
It would discourage bad people from becoming
Yeah.
landlords.
Yeah, because you'd still make profit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
just
still
not
allowed
as
to-
much as you would.
Not much as you
Yeah.
would though. So that's probably that's the thing too. Hannibal said like he didn't want to support Bernie, but he didn't even say it was because of rent control. He said because he was old.
Right.
So he
and
got
Bernie
74
started
and he had a heart
following
attack
him.
2 weeks ago. Or Bernie started following him and then he responded, "Yo, you'll love this. You didn't know this." Bernie started following him. He responded with, "Thanks, but I'm Yang Gang." And you're Yang Gang.
All right, Hannibal, you got me back.
Of course, man. Come on.
Secure the bag.
Do you think you could
2020.
handle like a cancel Joe Kilgallon?
Shit. I mean,
I mean, like
this
handle-
podcast has enough evidence to fuck me over.
Like handle it in the way of like how like Dave Chappelle, like people are going back and forth about a special. He didn't say shit. He didn't go on Twitter. He didn't apologize. He didn't do any press tour. He just let it ride until it's.
I think I could now, and we could wrap the podcast up on this. I learned a lesson. I was actually annoyed. So I've mentioned this before. They were the Laugh Factory Instagram page, Laugh Factory Chicago Instagram, and then like they wanted only one Laugh Factory, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it became
yeah.
like a different one. And
It's
now
like
it's like
a
LF
Laugh- a
Chicago Shy
like
Fans
they-
or something.
yeah.
They posted one of my clips on there, and in the clip I talk
Wait,
about.
can I interrupt you? You know, I post my shit all the time. I
Oh, I know where
posted
this is going.
fucking Joe's video. I post so much shit of
Yeah.
my video. I post one stand-up clip of his. He got 14,000 views in like a day off my shit, off my page. Then I posted my video Like 2 hours later, had like 428 likes.
Yeah, you were pissed. You
I
sent
was
me a
like,
message. You're like,
bitch.
I remember a week later. You're like, it's up to 50,000. I could barely get 1,000.
Right, I know.
Like,
His just kept going up and up. Like, oh, that guy was funny.
We
I was
gotta
like,
post
fuck
one of your
him.
clips on his page.
I did.
He
It
did.
did. It got 1,000 or a couple.
Fuck you. No.
Okay.
His kept going higher and higher. And I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I keep being like, who is that guy? That guy's funny. That guy's funny. Fuck him. Like, yeah.
It's an oral sex joke. I think it's the sex being the joke was the key.
It's a sex joke. Yeah, but fuck
So.
you. I was like, man.
I remember you were like,
People were like tagging other people.
You were so mad you
to
helped
Joe.
me.
Like, no. Right.
and people were like,
I
this
know.
guy's good. You should share more of his shit. You're like, what the fuck, assholes?
No. I'm like, I should delete this fucking shit.
I thought you were
The
going to.
fuck? Yeah,
I'm like,
I
this shit was
know.
getting cut. Well, they deleted one of my videos.
Oh, did they?
And it was because I had a back and forth with some people who didn't like it.
oh, in the
So
comments?
The video is like they cut it to 59 seconds. It's like a 3-minute
Yeah.
joke, but 59 seconds. And in the clip, you hear me talking about how, like, I have a bad wandering eye when I drive. Like, if I'm driving around, and I see a hot person, I'm like, oh, like a hot girl. I'm like, oh, fuck,
Mm-hmm.
And I say, but look, ladies, I've never catcalled. I never would catcall, but I'll drive around the block to get a better look at you.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like a,
Yeah,
it's
I've
a
heard
silly
that
joke.
joke, yeah.
And a couple women were commenting, being like, how the fuck would you post this? It's the most misogynistic shit I've ever heard. Like, you're stalking women. You know how, like, dangerous women feel. I'm like, I commented going like, hey, I understand what you're saying, but it's like a joke. I didn't actually drive around the block. Nobody would do that. It's like silly,
dumb
you know?
bitch,
She's
right.
like, well, you're encouraging men to try that. And I was like, I mean, no, and I was being cordial.
See, yours too. Yeah.
But then get this.
didn't-
I
did
clicked
the
on her
real Joe-
profile because I wanted to see what was what. And I saw like, oh, she's like a sick girl. She's like in the hospital. She's like a staunch feminist. I'm like, I'm not going to get into it with someone who's like maybe dying of something. And all that. So I'm like, let her vent about stuff. I felt bad. But then when I clicked back, I accidentally clicked on her Instagram stories. She had screenshot my profile and told all her followers to trash me.
Nope.
And then over the next couple hours, I got comments on my videos that wasn't that video, but videos on my actual page
So, like,
of people
now-
talking shit
now
about
you're like,
them.
oh, okay, you
And so
dead
you know what?
girl.
I'm like,
okay,
yeah.
sick bitch. It would have been so on at that point. Like, okay, you bitch.
I wrote, what
You
hospital are
need
you
some.
staying at?
I know. You wrote that? You
Because an
piece
air
of
bubble's
shit.
going to end up in your fucking in your IV.
You need
come
some
at me
red
with
blood
that
cells?
shit.
You
Yeah.
fucking sick cunt. Yeah, I would never stopped. They would have shut down my Instagram. I never would have stopped.
No, but you know what I did, though? I went the high road in a way where I said, hey, I noticed you did this, and I commented so other people would say it. I go, you and I just had a little discussion, and if you don't like my comedy, that's fine, but to tell people to go after me,
Right,
that's mean. What you're doing was mean.
Right.
And I thought throwing the word mean at them was good because they are always like, well, I'm not mean. I'm one of the good ones. That's how their
Yeah.
mindset is. So I was just like, and I go, hey, nothing but the best to you. And I walked away from it. And then I went to sleep, and in the morning, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what it's like. And I'm looking, and I'm like, they deleted the fucking video. And I thought to
Right.
myself, that was, I love the dude, and I've been meaning to bring it up to him, but I want to tell him, I'm like, dude, you're great, but that was kind of gutless on your part because
Right.
you liked the video enough to put it up there. And 5 people had negative comments on it, and I checked all 5 of her friends, and her included, don't even follow their page.
Right.
So if these are 5 non-followers
Right.
who didn't like a joke that way more people did because they got a lot of fucking likes,
Right.
and you kowtowed to them. You were like,
Right,
whoa,
yeah.
5 complaints, I guess I got to take it down.
Ooh.
That bothered the hell out of me.
Do you still have her Instagram name?
I might have the screenshot somewhere,
Okay.
actually, if I look through.
She
I
would
looked it
have
up.
to
She died. She died. She died. She died. And you know, and nobody ever catcalled her, and that's why. And
Right.
she's depression led her
I'd
to.
be like, bitch, I'll drive
She killed
around you
herself. I'm kidding.
5 times. Yeah.
Oh,
Around that
man.
hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you at? Northwestern Illinois Masonic? Yeah. I'll drive
Yeah,
around.
I'm there. It's a short drive.
Drive
I
on
know.
nice.
I know a block where there's free parking near there.
Pull up right to the ER. Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Stupid bitch.
Erica, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We got to end on this high note, you
I
stupid
know,
bitch.
right?
Where are you gonna be
So
though? Tell
fucked
people where
up.
they can follow you. I love you.
Um,
I love your stuff on social media, by the way.
Yeah, you
Because
could-
you'll say, not to cut you off, but you'll be like, I saw this shit. Who wants to discuss? Let's fucking go. I'm on the bus right now. Let's talk.
All me and Joe do on Twitter is talk sports. That's all. Like, we just retweet sports. He's all nice. He's way more fucked up in person.
Well, yeah, I just because I know how it is when people
Right.
don't know you on the internet.
Yeah, so you
because I've
come
commented on stuff where it's me and you joking.
Yeah, and then someone's like, "What the hell's?" Yeah, 'cause
and you're like,
someone's-
no, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
I know
I'm
him.
always
He's
like,
fucking
"Please
around."
stop."
Well, I remember you had that one post where you're like, black people will put something in the microwave for 30 seconds and then keep doing it instead of just doing 3 minutes to start.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do that all the time.
Right.
And
And I was just like, oh, yeah, because they said you're from the south side, which you're always just like, bitch.
I'm really from the north side, but I spent a lot of time on the south side. My dad worked for
No.
Chicago Park District on the south side. I'll tell
You
that.
said
But Clark,
you used to summer in the south
That was
side,
my
which
joke,
is the
yes.
funniest shit in the fucking
because my dad ran the day camps at some south side parks, so I would be like the one north side kid down there, and they'd be like, Cubs suck every day. But Clark Jones commented on that. We're bringing Clark back into it. He commented, Irish people are just black people with badges. Which I was like, yeah, that's pretty fucking funny. That's a funny line. All right,
I know,
I'll give you that one.
but I always think that like people are gonna read this, and be like, what the hell's with that guy? But yeah, so I will this week. I'll be at Comedy Bar on Thursday.
Check out Comedy Bar this weekend. James will be there, of course, as well. That is downtown Chicago. I don't know the address. I know the old address.
500.
North of South.
500 North of
North
South.
South,
There you
yeah.
go. Everyone check out Erica Nicole Clark. I just mumbled.
Yeah,
Erica
Clark,
Nicole.
Clark.
My fucking beer got me. Erica Nicole Clark at Comedy Bar. What, Thursday through Saturday or Sunday or some
No,
shit? Or just
no.
Friday, Saturday?
Just Thursday. I
Thursday.
said
Oh, I
Thursday.
missed that.
Said, didn't I say on Thursday? I'll be. Yeah.
We're
thank you.
now at
Then
the
next
hour in which I
week-
should be in bed. Okay?
Okay, next week I'll be in Grand Rapids.
Are you doing Dr. Grins?
Yes.
Nice. I just
Yeah.
headlined that club
Dude,
2 weeks ago. Thanks. Why'd you
No,
clap like
because
that?
I'm not. I'm
Oh.
not headlining.
Oh, I
I'm just
didn't know that.
featuring.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Who are you
you
featuring
see,
for? I didn't know I was doing a dig.
He tried to shit on me like real quick. I headline. What are you doing? You guest spotting?
What are you-
Yeah.
You hosting? What's going on? No, you'll kill. You'll
Piece
kill.
of shit. Kevin Bozeman.
Oh, if you're gonna
Yeah,
fucking, you're both
it's
gonna
be-
crush.
Yeah, it's gonna
the
be
best.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Awesome.
you headline though? That's
I did
good.
headline,
That's
yeah.
great.
yeah. But you know what? They'll headline you next time.
Good,
Is this your
yeah.
first time featuring there?
Yeah, I've never done anything.
I
with
featured
these
there once,
people.
and a year later they headlined me. So
No.
go do you, and they'll bring you back to headline.
Oh, is that
And you get to
supposed
do
be like an
morning
inspirational
television, where I did morning television and literally had to hold in a fart the whole time. You can actually see me sitting like this, like I didn't want to fucking fart, but it's too early in the morning for that
So
shit.
thank you
know?
for your inspiration and motivation.
Just-
hopefully, Joe.
You know, I think you got the skills.
Next
you just
year,
gotta keep
I can headline.
try a new joke in the middle, and then maybe they'll
Shut
start
the fuck up.
headlining. you.
Yeah, I'm not doing
All right, I'll be at Zany's all week, everybody. My website's under construction, so just follow me on Twitter and Instagram for shit like that. Follow Kilgallon's Pub, YouTube channel. More good shit in the works for that. Thanks for everyone listening to Kilgallon's Pub. Cheers.
Bye-bye.